haven't had the opportunity, work schedule and everything. But and I know a lot of these names I don't know. Anybody stand out to you as a kind of an insider and exciting, looking forward to the season coming up?
Mike Yastrzemski has hit a bunch of home runs, and he's a new addition. He should be able to fill in a big gap with Jurickson Profar out.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Power hitter.
Yeah.
And then Mauricio Dubon, who's going to fill in at shortstop because the guy we signed for the 1 year got injured, because of course. And he's been really good. He's been batting leadoff when Ronnie's out, and then at the bottom of the batting order, and he's been fun. He's been a good player to watch.
Excellent. Well, I've actually, I love baseball, and I can't wait. Did I ever mention I hit a home run at Wrigley Field? Have I told you?
Only 100 times.
And that's the fill-in guy telling you that.
Sorry, I had to just kind of slip one in there on Flounder.
That's what she said.
Thank you. She's very popular with. Anyway, Kipper and Pete will be back. Flounders here and Joe Baseball, and here is our number 404-741-1230 741-1230. Jim, we got a lot of stories, and again, Donald Trump. This is unfreaking believable. Donald Trump once again just goes live. He welcomed aboard Mark Wayne Mullen, who is now the new head of Homeland Security over Kristi Noem,
who did not start a fight in the Oval Office.
Yeah. and again, I learned a couple of things. Again, I wish he would do it at 3. Honestly, I would just go live. Donald Trump live when he's just answering questions. He made his announcement. He said, "Congratulations, you're in," and then he took questions. Like for an hour. I mean, it's unfreaking believable. And the thing I love about that, when he just spontaneously takes questions and stuff, he's liable to say anything.
Well, I think that's one thing I'd ask you, since you've been in this industry for, 61 years, presidents. Has there ever been a president entertaining?
Never. Well, no. Well, Jack Kennedy.
But was he entertaining like Trump?
No, not like this.
Because with Trump, you're anticipating on what he's going to do or say.
Yeah. Well, they would say Ronald Reagan had great stories. Ronald Reagan was
a good storyteller and a great joke teller as well.
A good joke, yeah, absolutely, and making jokes on himself that he was there when Lincoln signed the so and stuff like that. But no one's been like Donald Trump.
Just call another politician stupid or a moron.
It's just, he said, "Oh, I'm glad that Robert Mueller died.
Dead,
it's good for everybody. He can't go screwing people anymore like he did me. Oh my God!" But so much, and he's right, by the way. Screw Robert Mueller. He helped ruin everything in this country. In fact, you're going to hear Ted Cruz here in a minute too, talking about going after the politicization of this country by the DOJ and the FBI. Anyway, we'll get to all this stuff. Oh, and a couple things on Donald Trump. Again, he goes live pretty much every day, running the country, answering questions, letting the people know. In fact, Joe Baseball, now you're not a particularly news reporter guy, but still in the broadcast news business. I mean, you're part of the whole deal. Are you as amazed as I am compared to the last administration under Joe Cadaver, Autopen, about the difference? And have you ever seen this anywhere in the world about a leader opening up his office to just, here we go? Ever seen or heard such a thing in your life?
I'm confused. How often he speaks?
No. Have you ever heard can you? I ask you because you're young, and I wonder whether you realize the difference between what we went through with Joe Biden and what we now have with it opening up everything every single day. Basically, Trump is here to say, "Ask me what you want, and I'll give you the answer." I mean, what a change!
Yeah, he does speak a lot.
He loves to talk. He loves to hear himself talk.
Well, I know it's true, but in fact, one thing I learned today, I just caught a couple of glimpses. I didn't get to hear it all because I'm in here working in before the show, but I did hear a part where Donald Trump, and I didn't know this, said, "Mark Wayne, you're one of the only few Native Americans we've ever had in the Senate." And I said, "Yeah, Mark Wayne is apparently a full-blooded Cherokee Indian." I'm just not that I'm reacting other than I didn't know that, and I think it's kind of cool. And there've been a couple others, but and again when you mentioned that, my first thought was, how come there haven't been more actual common purebred descendants of Native Americans in
Congress
leadership positions of all kinds. Yeah, Congress and business, and I mean there are rare and occasional. But anyway, I'm just curious, and I think it's a shame because we've lost. People don't know much about our heritage, and our American Native Indian population is, before we were. Anyway,
so since January of 2025, 6 Indian Americans serve in the U.S. House of Representatives, known as the Samosa Caucus.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Of course. Now, he was in the Senate. Are there other, is there anything about the Senate? Maybe that's what Donald Trump was referring to. Yeah, I think he might have mentioned senator. I'm not sure either way. Anyway, I'm just curious. There haven't been many.
Senate, Kamala Harris, the first Indian American to serve in the U.S. Senate.
Anyway, Kimmer and Pete will be back at Flounder and Joe Baseball. 311-404-741-1230. 741-1230. Got a lot of things to talk about that. Also, let's see. Did I mention I hate people? I hate
in general?
People in general. If I go up this parking garage one more freaking time and some bozo comes flying around the freaking corner. This thing is designed. This is not a good parking deal. Designed at the garage shop. Obviously, the land is so expensive that they had to, every square freaking inch of the architectural design. So you have to be careful you don't bang the wheels on your car trying to get into the gates and stuff. I mean, it's unbelievable. And so, and inside, it's a deck parking garage, spins like 5 floors, and people come flying around those corners, and the big, pickup trucks stick out 4 feet. It's unbelievable.
You should ask David if you can park in the bottom.
Yeah. Let me go ahead and ask David if I can. He said, "You still here?"
I bet he'd get a spot
it's
for you.
That sweet lady in the HR office,
Laura.
Yeah. Every time I go in the air, she kind of blocks the door. He's kind of, he's not here. I can see him. He's in there. Anyway, everything's fine, really. I swear. All right. Let's see. And Joe, I didn't bring. I'm not making cookies this week. I got fat.
He's trying to lose weight. She's on a diet.
And so I'm just, I'm going to the beach, and see my family and stuff, or some of them anyway. And,
will you go in the water? Will you go in the ocean?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, God, yeah. I mean, I'll be, every day. Every day. In fact, my daughter, Jennifer, who can't get around very well, after she has a stroke, she uses a walker. If she's going to go shopping, she has to have a walker. But she loves to go on the beach in the water, and we'll get one of those canoe things like that and stuff like that. So, but I love going. I will go in the water like waist high or shoulder high or something and just bob and just sit there and lay there and bob. I mean, I just love being in the ocean. But the ocean always scares me. I've been on the open ocean.
You don't want to go too far out these days anymore, man.
And again, if you get a cramp and something happens,
a shark?
A lot of things could happen. But again, if I were 20, it was a whole different story. Anyway, 313. I'm my grandfather. I just made a mistake of going in the head and making sure I didn't have thing hanging on my nose or something. Was
there something hanging on your nose?
No, I was perfectly clean and everything else. But I'm my grandfather. I hate it. All right, 314, 3 point. Here, Joe B. Here we go.
Support the advertisers and partners that share your values. Give our extra advertisers the first shot to earn your business. They will deliver for you every time and support the extra community like no one else. Connect with all of our partners online at extra1063.com.
Well, we got the beautiful sunshine and planting season abounds here in Georgia, of course. And Stovall & Company for you builders and contractors putting in some landscaping. Wholesale landscaping supply company, family business, 11 locations. Latest one up there in Canton. And again, I love to talk about their, family service. Their name's on the thing, their job site delivery. If you need it right now, it's probably coming all the way right now. Stovall & Company. And don't forget this, if you're working outside with maybe a fireplace by the pool or an outdoor kitchen or something, they have stuff to help with that too, and all the plants and trees and shrubs and flowers and sod and seeds and the whole deal. And if you need something special and they don't have it, they can tell you where else to get it. StovallInc.com.
At Lennox Mark from the Safe House, the legacy of Joe Biden lives. His open border policy let millions of illegal criminals stream into our country. We continue to have customers visit the showroom and report that they have been victims of break-ins and lost their hard-earned and irreplaceable items. So don't be a victim. Drive by the Safe House showroom and see what real security looks like. Picture yourself placing your valuables in a Fort Knox safe. Now that's real protection for your priceless valuables. Drop by the showroom or go to AtlantaSafeHouse.com.
Thousands of veterans across Georgia are missing out on the benefits they've earned through their service. The Warrior Alliance is changing that by connecting veterans and their families to life-changing resources and support. Tune into the Warrior Alliance Network, our podcast and radio show dedicated to helping veterans succeed after service. Join us every Saturday at 11 a.m. on 106.3 to hear inspiring veteran stories, discover free programs, and learn about career opportunities available to you. Subscribe to the Warrior Alliance YouTube channel today.
Join Daniel Madelon, CEO of A Second Chance Bail Bonds, and co-host Tug Cowart as they bring together law enforcement, justice insiders, and voices from every part of the justice system, victims, advocates, and people who've turned their lives around. It's not PR, it's not fluff. It's an honest talk about what's working, what's broken, and how to build a better path forward, one second chance at a time. This week's guest is former Lieutenant Governor and candidate for governor, Jeff Duncan. Justice Unfiltered. Unfiltered, informed, and unbiased.
So, you had a long day. You decided to stop for a cocktail on the way home. The next thing you know, you had one too many and you just got pulled over. You need A Second Chance Bail Bonds. A Second Chance can get you or loved one out of jail quickly, in most cases in a matter of hours. A Second Chance Bail Bonds. It's better to know us and not need us than need us and not know us. Get help now. Call 404-BAIL-OUT. That's 404-BAIL-OUT or contact them online at atlbail.com.
Hey, this is Lowe's with Terry from Alpharetta, who just purchased a new car with the Honest Car Guy, the new, fully transparent, honest way to buy your next vehicle. Terry, tell us about your experience.
I have a son serving in the military. He's active duty with limited time to look for a car. My son was looking for a used Hyundai Veloster, and I had heard about the Honest Car Guy on the radio, decided that that might be a route to go, and we made a phone call over the weekend. He screen shared the information with us. We looked over the vehicle, and he took the reins from there, and they were able to walk us through the process of buying the car. We're very clear and transparent, and next thing we knew, we had a car in the driveway.
Friends, if you're in the market for a pre-owned car, truck, or SUV, get an honest car buy from the Honest Car Guy. You pay what we pay, plus an honest fee, and we back that up by giving you the bill of sale. That's our transparency guarantee. Call 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME-1, or visit honestcarguy.com.
They lied, they cheated, and they broke the law. Liberal losers forced illegal migration on hardworking Americans. But conservative businessman Rick Jackson is ready to fight back.
I don't care if you're Muslim or Mongolian. You don't have the right to force your culture on our country.
Corrupt career politicians let the invasion happen, then made it worse. But conservative businessman Rick Jackson isn't going to let them get away with it.
Too often, criminal illegals commit sick, violent crimes, victimize our children, and get away with murder. So here's my guarantee to them. Do that when I'm governor, and you'll end up deported or departed. Any questions?
It's time to win big for Georgia. Rick Jackson, the Trump-supporting, straight-talking, successful businessman with nothing to lose. Rick Jackson for governor.
Paid for by Jackson for Governor Inc.
It's tax season, and by now, I know you're a bit tired of the numbers, but here's an important one you need to hear. $16 billion. That's how much money in refunds the IRS flagged for possible identity fraud. Not all grim news. LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second for your personal information and alerts you to threats that you could easily miss on your own. If your identity is stolen, LifeLock's U.S.-based restoration specialist is going to fix it. Save up to 40% off your first year with the promo code BECK, 1-800-LifeLock or lifelock.com. Terms to apply.
I need somebody help, not just anybody.
It's the old Beatles, the Kimmer Beatles. I was on this day in 20. First of all, you got Kimmer and Pete will be back, and Flounder and Joe Baseball on the board here. as the Mechanical Mangler this afternoon with our great appreciation for helping out here this afternoon. 2013, pictures of the Beatles' 1965 Shea Stadium concert taken by an amateur photographer who bluffed his way backstage, went on sale at auction and sold for about $40,000. His name was Mark Weinstein. He used a fake press card to get next to the stage for the New York show in 1965. He had 61 black and white images with copywriting fetching about $35,000. The bidder was a South American gentleman currently living in Washington who's a collector of Beatles stuff anyway. Beatles, I remember being big in New York. I remember that in 1965. Let's see. Birthday list includes Keisha Castle Hughes. If you know who that was, she was a little girl. She's 36 years old now today. Keisha Castle Hughes, 36. She was that little girl in the movie Whale Rider. Did you ever see that?
Whale Rider?
Whale, as in the ocean whale, whale in the ocean. Whale Rider.
I've seen Free Willy.
Again, I never saw it, but I guess it was
Whale. I've never heard of that.
Yeah. Oh, it was. I remember this and her, and I've seen posters and everything. But Joe Baseball, have you ever heard of the movie? Do you know the movie Whale Rider?
Never heard of that in my life.
Do you know this girl Keisha Castle Hughes?
No.
That name, okay. Well, anyway, for those who do, she was very famous at the time in this movie Whale Rider. She's now 36, and I remember her, and I didn't know this till I checked it out in the series Game of Thrones. Joe Baseball, did you watch Game of Thrones?
Of course I did.
Okay. And Flounder, I don't think you did, right?
No, I did not.
I can't. Well, that's fine. I'm not trying to start anything, but I'll bet that. Now, what about Veronica?
She's watched. I think she's watched some episodes or like a season or two, but not the whole thing.
Doesn't really got a thing. Okay. Well, anyway, now Joe Baseball, you remember this girl Keisha Castle Hughes played the role in Game of Thrones of Obara, a sand snake warrior. Remember when the two or three girls who kind of looked like they were sisters, I think, or looked like twins, black-haired, black eyes, and they were involved with jail, and they're warriors. They were killing people.
Yeah, they had the spears.
Yeah, the spears. Yeah, the sand snake. Well, she was one of them.
Oh, that's cool.
And knockout. I mean, they were sexy as hell, and I mean, teasy and it was really a whole thing. It was really, really pretty cool. Anyway, Keisha Castle Hughes is 36 today here, just for the record. There's a cross that off there. Got an update for you here in a second or two. First of all, 1965, on this day in history, the first teach-in conducted at the University of Michigan at Ann Arbor for an anti-war teach-in program. University of Michigan, 200 faculty members participate by holding special anti-war seminars. Regular classes were canceled. Again, this is University of Michigan, 1960. 2 days later, a similar teach-in took place at Columbia University in New York, and all of a sudden, it was everywhere. Anti-war teach-ins through the 60s, and in fact, shall I tell you a quick story? When I was in graduate school, after I got out of the Marines, came back home, graduate school, finished school at Arizona State, went to graduate school. This was like fall of 71, I think. And sitting in class at this political communications class, and the professor brings in, and I'm just one of the many students there. I didn't know anybody there personally enough to even talk about. I don't even think they knew I was married and was about to have a baby, or let alone that I was in the Marines and had been overseas. So I'm just like another student sitting there, look a little older, obviously. And all of a sudden, this professor of the class brings in this soldier. And he was, I forgot his rank. I think he might have been a first lieutenant, not some big colonel, general, or anything like that. Just like a kid who served in the Army. And he proceeded to lecture and basically demean all of us students in class. And you're thinking, and he wasn't. It wasn't that he was being, pretending to be a big tough guy. Silver Star recipient or something, but he was just real obnoxious, and it was like, you people don't know what you're in, and I just sat there. I honestly, just the other night, I thought about this again, and I thought about what I would have done today had that sort of thing happened to me. And again, just to show you what the nature of the time was, no one heard a peep out of me or anybody else at moments like that, because it was just, it wasn't worth the fight. It was just depressing. And it was really, and I look back at it now, and I feel bad. I feel, in fact, I didn't think I was going to feel bad talking about it right now. To be honest with you, I'm kind of feeling a little bit goofy. I'll bet your old man, when he came back from Vietnam, I'll bet the same thing happened. Where it's not that you shied away. It's just I don't want to be. I had my first 2 fights when I came back from Vietnam on a college campus, but that was and then I just you just stop. I just couldn't do it. Just didn't want to be part of it. It was just really a shame.
One thing he did tell me when he came back, he drove from New Jersey to Arizona.
Yeah.
And then he had stopped somewhere in the West to grab gas, and there was a chicken coop next door where they also killed him, so they had to shoot him. And he was pumping gas, and he heard the shots, and he ducked right down. This was the first thing he thought about doing because he just noise reaction.
That stuff is real. Anyway, I'm sorry, I just got kind of distracted there. And again, that's right. And by the way, that's one of the other reasons why I want to go over. I want to go to Carg Island. I want to go back with the Marines if they're going over there anyway. So now we have an update. And this is very short, and it just happened a few minutes ago that Donald Trump, when he was addressing the nation and answering questions at the podium today while welcoming aboard the new DHS secretary, Donald Trump said Iran has agreed to his biggest demand in order to stop the war: no nuclear weapons. Quote, they've agreed. They will never have a nuclear weapon. They've agreed to that. Now, Tehran officially has denied even talking to America, but apparently one of their foreign ministers or somebody's been talking to other nations and kind of indirectly to, Trump's son and Witkoff. And I'm not really sure it's good. But again, he says they've agreed to no nuclear weapons, and that's pretty much the ball game, right?
I think he's saying that's what they have to agree to.
No, he says they agree. I swear to I'm reading the quote, and this is what they've agreed. They will never have a nuclear weapon. They've agreed to that, unquote. Twice he said they've agreed to it. Which is, I can't believe we're not hearing bells and whistles going off on Fox News right now. We're watching TV and they're talking about the DHS suspect stabbing the mom in Virginia.
Here's the audio. I'll send it to Joe so we can listen to him.
Okay, but again, now maybe they misquoted him, but it says here they've agreed. No, they will not have a nuclear weapon. That's astounding news. I mean, that's the biggest news in 47 years. Did Donald Trump just get Iran to say they're not going to have a nuclear weapon the first time in 47 years after saying they want to blow us up to smithereens? This is unbelievable. Flounder and Joe are now in the studio we're going to get that particular soundbite. I mean, am I overreacting? I mean, this is really unbelievable if that's true. I mean, think about it. Iran's been threatening to blow the hell out of us, and then to saying we will never agree to anything with this, and now they're agreed no nuclear weapons.
Play when it's ready, Joe.
This is
turning point to make you want to pursue a ceasefire. A few days ago, you said you wanted to continue bombing Iran. Now you want to pursue peace talks. Was there something that happened?
The fact that they're talking to us and they're talking sense. And remember, it all starts with they cannot have a nuclear weapon. I said yesterday, they said, what are the top 10? I said, well, number 1, 2, and 3 is they can't have a nuclear weapon. And they're not going to have a nuclear weapon. And we're talking about that. And I don't want to say in advance, but they've agreed they will never have a nuclear weapon. They've agreed to that.
How do you ensure they agreed to? So he just said they've agreed to that.
That's unbelievable. We just...
I think one of the issues is we don't know who's in charge over in Iran.
Well, that's true. And again, just because one guy says they agree doesn't mean the mullahs agree to that. But still, I don't think I'm overreacting. This is Donald Trump says they've agreed not to have a nuclear weapon. Well, we won. Come on home. I mean, really, if that's the main sticking point, now we have to open up the Gulf of, the Straits of Hormuz, but still, that's astounding. Okay, well, anyway, we'll keep moving. And again, obviously, there's going to be at some point there's got to be reaction or a follow up or something. I can't believe that we're not going wall to wall with people reacting, especially Democrats. I mean, Well, I don't know. I mean, this is really amazing. All right, sorry. Coming up on 3:30. And again, Pete's off. Kimmer Pete will be back. And Flounder and Joe Baseball very graciously doing our board work here this afternoon, which is a lot of work for him. But we're very, very grateful. And Braves Friday, I can't believe it. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Anyway, we'll talk. And when Joe Baseball help us doing sports, we'll after 5 o'clock just for the fun of it, talk baseball, Braves, and everything else. All right, here we go. It's 3:30, 106.3. How you doing? It's only Tuesday? Oh, my God.
The Morning Extra, Neil Boyce, and The Kimmer Show are all online for you anytime at thepodcastpark.com. Plus all of Extra's exclusive podcasts like Ben Burnett, Janelle King, and so much more. All at thepodcastpark.com. Presented by Associated Credit Union.
Truist Park is waiting for you, Braves country. Baseball is back, and so are your Atlanta Braves. The opening homestand of the 2026 season begins March 27th through the 29th as the Kansas City Royals come to town for opening weekend. The homestand begins with 2 gate giveaways, a magnetic schedule powered by Georgia Power, plus a rally towel presented by Racetrack to bring the energy to the home opener atmosphere on Friday, March 27th. Then on Sunday, March 29th, it's the first Kids Club giveaway of the year. The first 3,000 kids through the gates will receive a Ronald Acuna Jr. chenille cap, and families can enjoy exciting pregame activities inside Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Park. The excitement continues March 30th through April 1st as the Athletics visit Truist Park, and tickets start at just $10. Plus, fans can score a Drake Baldwin NL Rookie of the Year bobblehead on March 31st, presented by Coca-Cola. Get your tickets now at Braves.com/promos. Atlanta Braves Baseball. We are Braves country.
There's never been a better time to fall in love with Subaru. Now through March 31st, get award-winning vehicles and exceptional offers from a brand you trust during the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Subaru of Gwinnett. Explore the full lineup of hybrid, electric, gas, and wilderness vehicles, including the 2026 Subaru Forester and the all-new 2026 Subaru Outback. Every Subaru is made with love and built to last, with dependability and value coming standard. Whether you're looking to match your adventurous spirit with the 2026 Subaru Outback or land on the reliability of the 2026 Subaru Forester, Subaru of Gwinnett has the perfect fit for your family. You'll love exploring in the 2026 Subaru Crosstrek. And the 2026 Subaru Legacy is what happens when we put the best of Subaru into a sedan. Plus, every Subaru model comes equipped with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. There's a lot to discover and a lot to love at Subaru of Gwinnett. Come in for a test drive on Satellite Boulevard in Duluth or start shopping online at SubaruofGwinnett.com.
Hello.
Hey, is this Mike Fitzgerald?
No, I think you have the wrong number. Wish I could help you.
Well, you could if you were Mike Fitzgerald.
Who is Mike Fitzgerald?
Mike Fitzgerald is the only realtor I'll talk to because he can sell my house fast for a great price and even in this market.
Yeah, I'm definitely not Mike Fitzgerald.
Oh, I figured that out. Because Mike Fitzgerald would have sold my house already.
Selling your home? You need Mike Fitzgerald from the Harry Norman Realtors team. Visit brokermike.com or call 678-780-HOME.
The right partner makes all the difference. For more than 185 years, we've forged personal relationships with our customers and communities, funding economic development and rallying around the causes that are important to our neighbors. With the technology, products, and expertise you'd expect from a big bank and the local decision-making and commitment to community from your neighborhood bank, United Bankshares is your trusted financial partner for life. Learn more at bankwithunited.com. United Bankshares, member FDIC.
Hey, it's Front Office Lowe's for Howard Brothers. Looking for the right tools, equipment, and expert advice for your next project? Head over to Howard Brothers. They're the best one-stop shop for outdoor projects. With locations across North Georgia and a team that's always ready to serve, let Howard Brothers be your go-to for outdoor power, service, hardware, and more. Stop by today or visit howardbrothers.com. The grass is always greener and projects always easier when you take care of it with Howard Brothers.
Attention Atlanta, it's the biggest truckload safe sale of the year at Safe Market and Liberty Safes of Atlanta. And it's happening for 3 days only. We're slashing prices by up to 40% on top quality American-made safes. Home safes, gun safes, commercial safes. With 3 showrooms, there's never been a better time to buy. But hurry, when the truck's empty, the deals are gone. Shop online or come into one of our 3 stores for even bigger savings. March 26th through March 28th only. Call 770-242-0055 or visit thesafemarket.com.
There's no championship league for small business owners, but if there was,
you'd be at the top of the standings. Because going pro with Lenovo Pro means you've got the winning formation. One-on-one advice, IT solutions, and customized hardware powered by Intel Core Ultra processors help you stay ahead of the competition. Business goes pro with Lenovo Pro. Sign up for free at lenovo.com/pro.
Lenovo.
There we go. They do run. They do run. Da 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 da. You ever watch the movie Stripes?
I have.
He's teaching class how to speak English. Okay, class, let's review. I met him on a Sunday. They do run. They do run. Son of blank. You know, how many of you speak a little English? Anyway, Kimmer, Pete will be back. Flounder and Joe Baseball helping us out on the board here running things. 2009, the prosecutor in the Phil Spector murder retrial. The prosecutor told the jury he was a demonic maniac when he drinks and a very dangerous man around women. Phil Spector, the music producer, the deputy DA, Truck Dew, urged jurors to find the music producer guilty of murdering Hollywood actress Lana Clarkson in 2003. During her closing argument, she accused Mr. Spector of demonstrating a conscious disregard for human life. And they do run. We got the Ronettes, we got the flow of, what was it, the flowing sound? What the hell, the double sound, overround sound, or something? Hell, what the hell was the name of that sound pack? Phil Spector,
the wall of sound?
The wall of sound, something like that, yeah. Anyway, oops, hold on. Mr. Phone just glanked his glank there. Hold on, there we go. Let's see, a birthday list. How about Jim Parsons? Jim Parsons is 53. Jim Parsons was Sheldon on The Big Bang Theory. And I checked this out when I was looking this up this morning. Jim Parsons, at 53 today, according to Forbes magazine, between 2015 and 2018, Jim Parsons was the highest paid TV actor in the world. I don't know why I find that incredibly amazing. Because he was, of course, Big Bang Theory. But anyway, Jim Parsons is 53 years old today. And, stupid phone. Hold on. I got it right here with Mr. Phone here. Here we go. And on this day in history, I'm sure, Joe Baseball, I assume you have never heard of Bishop Fulton Sheen? No. Probably way before your time. Flounder, you ever heard the name of Bishop Fulton Sheen?
Bishop Fulton
Sheen.
No, I'm not.
It was on this day in 1940. You wouldn't know for that reason, but later on. In 1940, the first religious first religious TV broadcast in New York City. It was an Easter service by then Monsignor Fulton Sheen. Fulton Sheen was host of the NBC radio program The Catholic Hour until 1950, and then later hosted the TV show Life is Worth Living in the 50s. And everybody watched a TV version of Fulton. A bishop became a bishop. Bishop Fulton Sheen was a black and white TV show, of course, and it was local. I mean, it was played everywhere. And the actor Ramon Estevez took the last name of his stage name, Martin Sheen, from him. Martin was the casting director, Robert Dale Martin, who gave him his first big break. Martin Sheen was Ramon Estevez and took both names from the show of Bishop Fulton Sheen, which I find just remarkable. 3:38, Kimmer, Pete will be back, and Flounder and Joe Baseball. All right, Donald Trump today declaring victory. He said, Iran's got nothing. Success against Iran. The country's military infrastructure leadership are dismantled. We're talking, by the way, a tremendous success, having success. Iran, no Navy left, no Air Force, no anti-aircraft equipment, no radar, no leaders. Leaders are all gone. He said he's communicating, but it's remaining a little unclear about whether there's progress and who's doing what. Donald Trump, the president, said nobody knows who to talk to. We are talking to the right people, and they want to make a deal so badly, you have no idea how badly they want to make a deal. And then he said, Pete Hegseth doing a great job so far, the generals, captains, majors, everybody else. And then he said, Iranian leadership has sent him a, quote, significant gift that was worth a tremendous amount of money before saying that the gift was connected to the Strait of Hormuz. So there were two things that came out of Donald. Again, Donald Trump went live today. He announced that Mark Wayne Mullin is now the new Department of Homeland Security Director, and then he answered questions from the media. And among the other things he said was that, and again, this is one of the lead stories coming up on the wires right now, was that Iran made a significant gift worth a lot of money connected to the Strait of Hormuz. We can only, assume what he's talking about, opening it up or allowing certain things. Or it's obviously.
Apparently, former Defense Secretary Jim Mattis says if if U.S. does in fact declare victory, that they would take the Strait of Hormuz and then pretty much use that as a tax for any ship to go through there.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, China gets 90% of its oil from there. So we're the only ones that don't give it. We don't give oil. We don't give crap for oil from Strait of Hormuz. But we're going to be in charge of it. I mean, this way, Donald Trump, he's taking over.
It's another revenue stream.
He's taking over the world. I mean, it's unbelievable. Anyway, so Donald Trump says significant gift, unquote, a tremendous amount of money about the Strait, and then he also said that Iran has agreed no nuclear weapons. Yeah, they've agreed to that. They've agreed to that. That's his big demand, and they've agreed. He said they've agreed to it. Have you heard him? In fact, I'm going to write down, make sure we play that again later. Donald Trump. Sorry, flying as we go here. And nukes. There we go. What's that?
I was talking to the I was telling Joe to probably go ahead and download that clip that I had sent him. That was on Twitter.
Okay, yeah, and again, Donald Trump saying that they've agreed. Just answering a question. That's unbelievable. I mean, isn't that unbelievable?
Yeah, if he ends nuclear power in Iran, that's another Nobel Peace Prize he should get.
Yeah, of course there are three, as I understand it, there are actually three sections or power brokers. There's the basic foreign diplomat corps, and then there's the mullahs, and then there's also the army. The IRA or the IRA, what the hell they call their army? I forgot the ragtag, 600,000 army people, and their leader, they're going to do what they want. So again, there are three different factions, and the IRC, or I think it's something like that.
Artesh, the ARTESH. Islamic Republic of Iran Army.
Yeah. Anyway, they're going to do what they're going to do. Now, a couple other things. We're going to play cut number 2. Actually, let's play cut number 1 here first, coming up. Joe Baseball, if you don't mind. Ted Cruz, in fact, I got to get my phone here. This is a late breaking story that I got captured on my phone as opposed to, having it printed out. So I got this right here, and hold on a second. Here we go. Okay. Today at a Senate hearing, a Senate Judiciary hearing, Senator Ted Cruz criticized the FBI deputy director for not answering questions about allegations of bribery involving President Biden. And the FBI's refusal to answer the questions was damaging to the institution and the rule of law. An informant says Biden and the family took $5 million in bribes while he was vice president, and said there were 17 recordings of him talking to Hunter Biden and Joe Biden, and the FBI refuses to say anything about it. They're covering it up and stonewalling it. Now, here, in fact, let me take this back. We'll play cut number 2 here first, if you don't mind, Joe Baseball. Here's Ted Cruz. Here's a very short version of exactly what happened under the last administration. Cut number 2, if you would, sir.
The FBI went to the chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee and lied to him in an effort to change the outcome of a presidential election.
Ted Cruz at the Senate hearing today. And for the record, Ted Cruz also tried to compare what I think what happened under the Biden administration is the worst scandal this country's ever had, way worse than Watergate. And cut number 1, Ted Cruz apparently says the same thing here, if you will, Joe Baseball.
50 years ago, this nation was confronted with an abuse of power, and it responded not with indifference, but with accountability. I'll tell you one of the big differences of Watergate versus Arctic Frost. When Richard Nixon and his corrupt attorney general and his corrupt administration abused their law enforcement powers to go after their political opponents, Republican senators stood up to the president of their own party and defended the rule of law. Where is even a single Democrat senator who has said one word about this abuse of power? Is there not one? There are 47 Democrats in this body. Is there not one who can come forward and say, you know what? Turning the Department of Justice into the Oppo research and attack machine of the DNC is not what the DOJ is supposed to be. We were tested then, and there was accountability. We are being tested again now.
Let's remember, I was thinking about this, making notes in my head as I was driving in today. Remember what the Democrats did when they were in control. Politicizing the Department of Justice and the FBI, active coup agents against Donald Trump and Republicans, splitting up this country, calling the most corrupt thing in America is the most politically corrupt family in America is the Biden family. It was the death of the freedom of the press. They broke this country in half with their, the biggest danger to America is voters who voted for Donald Trump. Remember when the President of the United States said that? The biggest danger is not Muslim attackers. The biggest danger is people who voted for Donald Trump. People like me who vote. I'm a danger to my country. The last administration, they opened up the border for the millions so we could take care of people and lose 300,000 children who were signed into somebody who didn't exist. Donald Trump has now taken over from what used to be the largest drug smuggling and human smuggling company, the Biden administration, in the history of the world. They shut down the energy situation in the system, caused inflation, stay at home with a phony COVID crap, your 6 feet freaking circles, hired a bunch of federal workers to make the economy seem like they were hiring more people, and it just made us worth with more inflation. Boys in the girls' rooms, trannies in sports, going the boys in the girls' locker rooms. Oh, hell, that's only a part of what they did when the Democrats were in control. And people think the Democrat Party should have another whack at it? Seriously, I hope these things are like on a freaking whiteboard of what the Democrats did to this country over the 4 years before Donald Trump, too. Anyway, 346. Kimmer Pete will be back, Flounder, and Joe Baseball on your Tuesday. How you doing? Beautiful day in the neighborhood right now. Check out that.
The president has drawn a clear line. Law and order must come first, and surrendering to mob pressure just invites more chaos. As these complicated stories unfold, you need the most trusted local and national voices of Extra 106.3 to make sense of it all. And most importantly, how it affects your family and your community. Proud to be Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
It's tax refund season here in Georgia, and a lot of folks are deciding how to spend it. Let me suggest something practical, something you use every day, your air conditioning system. With an earlier and warmer projected spring, your air conditioner is about to start working real hard. If your system is older and inefficient, this might be a smart time to upgrade to a high-efficiency carrier system to save on your utilities. When you combine proven carrier technology with an experienced team like at Central Heating and Air Conditioning, you're investing in long-term comfort and efficiency. Right now, you can save up to $1,700 in rebates, plus 60 months 0% financing on qualified systems, making a new system more affordable than you might think. Before that refund disappears on something temporary, invest in comfort that lasts for years. Call 770-GET-HEAT or go to centralheat.com today. Central Heating and Air Conditioning, delivering carrier comfort for the world we share.
We're smart, we care. We're Central Heating and Air.
Shop in the new 2026 Toyota Tacoma will make sure your move is the one at Marietta Toyota's Ready, Set, Go sales event now through March 31st. At Marietta Toyota, every new Toyota includes our nationwide lifetime powertrain warranty. That's unlimited time and unlimited mileage for as long as you own your Toyota. And if you currently own a Tacoma, Tundra, 4Runner, or Sequoia, you may qualify for $1,000 in loyalty cash towards that new Tacoma, no trade-in required. We've got Tacomas in stock and more arriving. You can choose right now to set up and drive it home. Special APR is available, 4.99% APR for 72 months for well-qualified buyers. Remember, visit us on Kyle Parkway South, just north of Truist Stadium, Marietta Toyota. Since 1975, we've been here and we'll be here for you.
4.99% APR for 72 months with approved credit through Southeast Toyota Finance. Not all buyers will qualify. $1,000 loyalty cash available to eligible current owners on selecting Tacoma. No trade-in required. Offer ends 3/31/26. See dealer for details.
Hey, this is Matt from East Cobb. We basically bought our house from our in-laws. It was my wife's childhood home. One of the issues that we've had when we first moved in was our dog in our backyard. It was extremely shaded, could never grow grass back there. We resodded it twice. So ATL Turf Co. did an amazing job with our backyard transformation. They basically created a miniature golf hole. We have a miniature fairway. We also have a miniature little putting green. consists of about 4 holes, total about 40 yards. So you can definitely work on your short game and your putting. After that transformation that ATL Turf Co. did for us, my father-in-law came and saw his house the way it looked after the fact of we had a putting green and a miniature golf course. Sure enough, he did the same thing with ATL Turf Co. He has a beautiful backyard, wonderful stonework, drainage, and a beautiful practice area for chipping and putting. Check him out online at atlturfco.com.
Ready to sell your home fast and for top dollar? Trust Design to Sell. Staging and interior design experts recognized as one of the top 10 staging companies in the nation. From stylish redesigns to full-service staging, Design to Sell creates spaces buyers fall in love with. Faster sales, better offers. That's the power of great design. Call 678-505-1433 or visit homedesign2sell.com and ask for the fan special.
It's official. President Trump has endorsed Burt Jones for governor.
Burt Jones has been an incredible leader. This man has my complete and total endorsement, and I really want to see him win.
Burt Jones is a trusted Trump conservative who's leading the fight to end Georgia's state income tax.
He's going to make a great, great governor. You will be very happy, Georgia. Burt Jones has my complete and total endorsement.
Paid for by Burt Jones for Georgia.
For years, I've talked about Relief Factor. You've heard stories about the people who finally found real relief after trying the 3-week quick start. I'm one of those stories. My pain had become so bad that I was starting to believe that my best days were behind me. This was like 10 years ago. Relief was not in the picture until I tried Relief Factor. They are always striving to help people get out and stay out of pain. And remarkably, Relief Factor has made their already trusted formula even better. They've added premium black pepper extract because apparently that helps your body absorb the high-quality key ingredients more efficiently. So in simple terms, it helps your body get even more benefit from what you're already taking. And that matters. If you're going to take something daily, you want your body actually using as much of it as possible. So if you've been listening to me talk about Relief Factor for a while, this is your moment. Or if you're already taking it, you're now going to get the enhanced formula designed to work even smarter. Start with a 3-week quick start. It's $19.95 at relieffactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF. How will it feel to be out of pain? relieffactor.com.
The Allman Brothers, what a story about Georgia Southern rock and roll. 2001 on this day, a stretch of road on Highway 19 in Macon was named Duane Allman Boulevard, near the spot where the Allman Brothers Band guitarist died at the age of 24, motorcycle crash in October of 1971, and it was 30 years later they named the road after him, at least part of that, Duane Allman. Kimmer, Pete will be back, and Flounder and Joe Baseball filling in with us. Our great appreciation. Let's see a little birthday here for you. Lara Flynn Boyle is 56. Notice I said Lara, L-A-R-A.
Lara.
Which is, Lara is not Laura. It's like the girl in a Dr. Zhivago was named Lara and not Laura, which is for the record. I had a next-door neighbor in Chicago. I lived in near Lake Forest, a Chicago suburb, and her name was Lara, and her husband was very clear about it. It's not Laura, it's Lara. Her husband also, again, this is in Chicago, 1980, before I came back to Atlanta, and her husband also, he had kind of a temper. He was put under arrest one time in the wintertime when somebody shoveled snow into his driveway, a guy who made money going around in everybody's house and shoveling your driveway for him, and so my neighbor didn't want to pay the guy to do it, so he started throwing snow into the guy's driveway, my neighbor's driveway. So my neighbor shot his truck. Yeah. So that's not good.
No.
Anyway. Tough crowd. Anyway, Lara Flynn Boyle is 56. She was Donna Hayward on Twin Peaks and Helen Gamble on The Practice, which is where I saw her. And she was also linked romantically for years with Jack Nicholson, but she's been married since 2006 to a real estate developer or something. Lara Flynn Boyle, 56 years old today. And on this day in history, 1980.
Yeah, she looks horrible. She got a bunch of work done later in life.
Why do they do it? I know, I feel bad. It's our fault,
Laura
I guess.
Flint?
Laura Flynn Boyle, B-O-Y-L-E, L-A-R-A, Flynn Boyle.
Yeah, I remember her.
She was a beautiful teeny little brunette. Oh, my God, is that her face? Ooh, it's like Cher. They do things to their faces that's just not.
Look at that.
That's not even her. Is that her?
Yeah.
Oh, poor thing. Well, it's our fault, I guess, because they want to. I don't. Are they when they do that? Are they trying to police themselves, or women, or men, or because they can't take a look at everything and think that's good, right? Or do they? I don't know. I'm sorry. I shouldn't. I should talk. I don't. I don't even want to. I can't. I can't even. I literally.
You can tell you've never had work done to your face.
I was going to say, but honestly, when I'm like Clinton, shaving my mustache beard thing, I can't look at my face. I zero in really, because I just can't. Oh God. Anyway, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to talk about me there. On this day history, 1980. A new Nightline series begins. It was November 1979. ABC aired a new late-night show called The Iran Crisis, America Held Hostage. Do you remember that? You may not remember. Well, you weren't even born. You're barely. You were like a baby.
What year?
1980.
So I was born in 78, so I was only 2.
You were a kid. Well, I remember, and there was a countdown. It was November 8th, 1979, ABC news show called The Iran Crisis, America Held Hostage, to compete with NBC's Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. Frank Reynolds started a 20-minute-long broadcast, and they used to count down the days. Iran Crisis Day 1. Remember that? You may not. Well, you don't remember that. And Joe Baseball, of course, I have no idea what I'm talking about. But as an adult and a news guy, I remember that, and they counted down the days. And then finally, Frank Reynolds started it on ABC, and then they said, hell, we need to make a show about this. So on this day in 1980, the show's name was changed to Nightline. After 444 days of the crisis, the show was able to bring other stories with a mix of investigative journalism and interviews that were longer than would have been seen during the evening news. So they started out as an update on what's going on in the Iran crisis when we were held hostage. Everybody was held hostage in the Iran embassy. And then it became, after it was over, they said, man, this is a popular show with the dead couple. And so they kept it going, and they started doing interviews and long-time things. And that's when, in the early 1980, that's when I was on it a couple of times, because I was working for the ABC network station in Chicago, WLS-TV. And so I was on there a couple of times doing stuff. Anyway, Ted Koppel retired in 2005 after 25 years anchoring it, and then retired from ABC after 42 years. And I think they do they still have Nightline? I haven't watched, I haven't watched a newscast on ABC, NBC, or CBS in years.
You don't need it, yeah.
I mean, seriously, I'm trying. I never missed them. I used to watch all three. I'd tape one, as a news guy.
David Muir?
Even then, I mean, I'm talking about, Huntley Brinkley, Roger Mudd, and in the 60s.
This is Hunter Brinkley.
Yeah, and that's all there was the three of them. That, with the antenna on your TV, they had
there was three news
three stations.
Yeah.
That was it. Anyway, so. That's what we got.
You don't need those outlets anymore because you have your Twitters, you have your Facebook. I mean, in all honesty, you look at Twitter as a place to get news information and content.
And Twitter is frequently the fast-breaking news source too, which I still don't. I still can't. I mean, I still don't. I look at Twitter or X once or twice a day. And I, click the little round thing where it talks to me or whatever the hell. I don't know. It's a little thing on a little. You show me. Hit the little round thing, and that opens up my X page, and to see what's going on. And I'll click on something to see what an update is. And once in a while, I'll find something. But again, people use it as a news source to see what people are talking about and what's just happened and stuff like that. So I mean, it's a whole. Life is passing me by. It's really true. It's hard to get in the stream.
Well, it's funny because when you did news and where it was to where it is now, and the way you present the content is just totally different.
Yeah, it's a whole different world. And podcasts are everything now. I mean, it's just, and everybody has a podcast apparently. I mean, it's astounding. And they're all, a lot of professional. I guess there's money in it. Other than Joe Rogan's making $1 billion, but even people that we've never heard of who once in a while will be quoted on another news source. Bill Furman's podcast where he interviewed so and so. I didn't know he had a podcast. I'm sorry, what was that there?
Funny.
Oh my God. Flounders funny right here, 3 of 9.
I've misgendered people in my life. It's a terrible feeling. That's not a joke. It's horrible. I hate it. So I have a new rule. If I don't know you, I don't care how you present. I don't call anyone sir or ma'am. I just call everyone my friend. If I don't know you, just call you my friend. Hasn't happened since. It's nice. It works. Yeah. The only problem is now I sound like a Saudi Arabian car dealer. My friend. Good car, white BMW, my friend. It's funnier because some of you clapped. It's funnier. Lifting up one group, pushing down another for no reason. I don't know why.
There you go.
It's comedy. It's the best we can do.
Thank you, Joe. At 4 o'clock, Kipper Peterly back, Flounders, Joe Baseball.
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. This hour is presented by Atlanta's Safe House.
A new deployment to the Middle East on Lisa Brady, Fox News. It's a decision that could lay the groundwork for land operations.
Fox News has learned the commander of the 82nd Airborne Division and his headquarters staff have been ordered to deploy to the Middle East, an indication that more ground troops, perhaps thousands, could follow. Thousands of U.S. Marine reinforcements are set to cross into CENTCOM's area of operations in the Indian Ocean as soon as Friday.
Fox's Jennifer Griffin, the president not ruling anything out, but still saying there are talks on ending the fighting.
What I said yesterday was exactly correct. We're in negotiations right now. They're doing it along with Marco, JD. We have a number of people doing it. And the other side, I can tell you, they'd like to make a deal.
Mediators reportedly working to convince Iran to join possible talks in Pakistan. President Trump also not ruling out support for a Homeland Security funding bill that would leave out some immigration operations as part of a potential deal to end a DHS shutdown after Mark Wayne Mullen was sworn in today as the new DHS secretary. A briefing from federal safety investigators on Sunday's deadly runway collision between a fire truck and a plane at LaGuardia Airport.
The NTSB highlighted several preliminary findings. First, from the cockpit voice recording, with an important point 40 seconds before the end, as investigator Doug Brazy said.
LaGuardia Tower asked which vehicle needed to cross a runway. At 28 seconds, Truck 1 made a radio transmission.
Truck 1 is told to stop 4 seconds before the recording ends. NTSB Chairwoman Jennifer Homendy said they also know, as far as controllers on duty at the time of the collision,
there were 2 people in the cab. 2 people in the tower cab.
Homendy said they aimed to find all that went wrong, leading to the loss of 2 pilots' lives.
Fox's Gernal Scott. Stocks finished lower. The Dow down 84 points at the bell. America is listening to Fox News.
If you don't care about saving 50% off your wireless bill for the same 5G coverage that big guys are charging a fortune for, maybe you care about keeping jobs in America. Pure Talk does. They've pledged to run their entire operation from this country, including all their customer service. Or maybe you care about our nation's veterans. Pure Talk does. They've donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to America's Warrior Partnership, a fantastic organization working hard to prevent veteran suicide. Or maybe you care about closing America's skills gap. Pure Talk does. They're a proud supporter of MicroWorks. They're helping my foundation train the next generation of skilled workers. Don't get me wrong. Saving money's great, and you'll save plenty with Pure Talk. But if you want to be in business with people who share your values, dial pound 250, say micro, and switch to an American wireless company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
Oh, it's Milli and Vanilli. It was sort of, listenable until the fraud began. 1992, Chicago court settled the Milli Vanilli class action lawsuit by approving cash rebates for people who thought they got screwed because Milli Vanilli was fake, didn't actually do the music. So the judge ruled in the class action lawsuit that anybody who could prove they had the receipt, that they bought Milli Vanilli's music before November 27th, 1990. If you could prove you bought it before that date, that was the date the lip-syncing scandal broke. If you could prove you bought Milli Vanilli before that date, you could get $3. A $3 rebate. Milli Vanilli won the Grammy for Best New Artist 1989. Blame It on the Rain and Girl, You Know It's True. sold 30 million singles and 14 million albums, and then they were stripped of the award after it was revealed that neither one actually sang on the freaking album. So that's not that good. Well, early AI. And again, remember, a couple of months ago, there was a story that somebody did, whoever put this together, put together a list of 100, I think it was 100 great songs, music. And they did a survey that said, here's a list of, you listen to these songs, and you rank, or maybe it was 20, whatever. So here's these songs. You listen to them, and you tell us what you think is, the best songs, rank them in order. Just a marketing thing. And it was all thousands of people took the survey. Something like 9 out of the top 12 were all fake. Not a single person involved. It was all AI. Totally, completely fake. And again, people like me are already out of date. They won't need us anymore because they already have all our voices if they want to keep even using the same voices. And just, do it in a machine. Forever. That's all over. Everything changes. They don't make wagon wheels anymore either. Let's see. Birthdays include Donna Pescow. Donna Pescow, 72 years old. I felt bad for her as an actress because I think she was a cute little thing, a cute actress, and just seemed like real bubbly and happy and stuff like that. And she played the part of John Travolta, one of John Travolta's, I don't even say girlfriends, in Saturday Night Fever. And he basically abused her and took advantage of her and treated her like a tramp. And I thought that was wrong. As my memory is,
she's a tramp.
She's a tramp. Mrs. Green, I'm looking at you.
All right.
More Green, you tried to hide.
I shouldn't have said that. Move along.
Another Rob Roy Bishop. Never ask a Navy man if he's had enough to drink, because it's nobody's personal business how many drinks he's had already, right? Wrong. You're drinking too much, Your Excellency. Excellency, fiddlesticks.
Right.
I can do the whole scene. All right, just for that, I'm not going to do any history thing. Kimmer and Pete will be back in Flounder and Joe Baseball. Oh, I just broke on, I don't know, some of the stories. I think New York Post or something.
Chuck Norris once told a woman to calm down.
And she did. By the way, we're still taking Chuck Norris jokes, and I got a couple of Babylon Bee ones coming up here, too. Just in, Russia has launched 400 drones and dozens of missiles across Ukraine, triggering NATO to scramble jets in neighboring countries. The assault killed several people, injured dozens. Strikes hitting multiple regions, including Kiev. I think they call it Kyiv now, I think. I'm not calling it Kyiv. Chicken Kyiv, please, you're killing me. Poland and Romania both scrambled fighter jets as Russian strikes approach NATO airspace. Warsaw put air defenses on the highest state of readiness. Long-range missiles conducting strikes on Ukrainian territory. Polish and Allied forces operating in our airspace. Ukrainian military said Russian forces have intensified attacks along the 750-mile front line. And the escalation suggests Moscow's long-anticipated spring-summer offensive is underway. Holy smokes. Anyway, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, Kimmer will be back. Pete will be back.
Kimmer's right here. Pete will be back, and I'm right here.
And everything's fine. All right, anyway, if you'd like to join us, 404-741-1230, 741-1230. And some funny things in the news. Well, not funny, haha, but it's about time. Delta has given a little thumb in the nose to the people in Washington. Delta has yanked special congressional desk service to lawmakers and staffers on Capitol Hill until they fund DHS. Due to the impact on resources from longstanding government shutdown, Delta will suspend specialty services to members of Congress flying Delta. Our priority is taking care of our people, and it's become increasingly difficult in the current environment. The benefits include airport escorts, red coat services. Reservation line may be open, but lawmakers will be treated like anybody else. Get in line depending on your Sky Miles status. Ed Bastian, the CEO, delivered a fierce rebuke, saying this is absolutely crap, inexcusable for TSA workers being used as political chips. And Hartsfield, and by the way, just today, everything is changing really quickly in most places for the better. You've seen the videos yesterday, last night, and again early this morning about hour-long, 2, 3, 4 hour-long waits. Well, apparently that's being really, really cut back a lot, and it's because TSA agents are doing the job that they need to do, while ICE agents are filling in for the things that anybody could do without any particular long months of training programs or anything like that. And so you see more video now these days of ICE agents, looking at some right now on TV, of ICE agents wearing their vests, no masks or anything, and it's working because I heard a girl at on ABC or on Fox News at 4 o'clock and at 3 o'clock saying, in fact, here in Atlanta, that it was that the lines have not disappeared, but they're way
drastically reduced.
And it also may be because it's Tuesday.
And even CNN was reporting on that, especially in Atlanta and Philadelphia.
Yeah, and part of the reason may just be the travel day. Tuesday is, not people starting off their work week or coming home from the weekend or whatever. But again, still, it's a great sign because they're doing the work and they're doing the jobs. And isn't it ironic that the Democrats will have to say thank you for getting the lines open again? It's because the ICE agents, So the Democrats are going to be forced to say thank you to the ICE agents, whom they wanted to fund. And again, remember, the Democrats, their whole platform is they want to defund the police. It's as simple as that. They say they're not going to vote for ICE. They'll think about DHS, but they're not going to program. They want ICE gone, period, which is a bunch of crap. In the meantime, here's something happened at the San Francisco airport, and another opportunity for people to scream at ICE agents, which, frankly, there's a reason I could never be one of those, because I couldn't take it. There's no way. Have you seen the video of people screaming in their faces at airports? And getting cameras up, like an inch from their face, and taking pictures and stuff. Oh, man. There was a Department of Homeland Security is reacting to the video of a woman being arrested and the family members part of a targeted operation by ICE agents. The video showed ICE agents handcuffing a crying woman at 10 o'clock at night as she continued to cry with a young girl standing beside her, all sobbing. People are yelling, "This is un-American. Where's your badge number? What's your name? We want to find out you Nazis are doing here, arresting this poor woman." Well, the poor woman has been here illegally for 6 years. 7 years. Part of an illegal Guatemalan immigrant ring, had been arrested and got away with it, and finally they caught her. They were looking for her because she's been here for 6 or 7 years illegally, and she was resisting arrest. She fought and broke and ran again. And this has nothing to do, by the way, with all of a sudden ICE agents patrolling airports, which they're doing now. But this was a targeted thing where they were looking for her and got her. She was in a crowd of people and started yelling and screaming. They were booing hecklers and demanded to call the police. And, of course, the police, this is in San Francisco, the police showed up and didn't do squat. They didn't help, but they also didn't block them, but they didn't do anything. And by the way, I wouldn't say about airport police in San Francisco. But again...
what about airport police in San Francisco?
Well, it's punishment. If you're a bad cop, you go to the airport. Yeah. Now that may not be true anymore because of what's happened recently, but still, I mean, that was and that place. Cause I used to live there for a couple of years. I knew this thing. Anyway, I couldn't take that screaming in your face. You got to be kidding me. And yelling. I mean, it's just.
It's not worth it.
I mean, serious. You couldn't do it if you were trying to do your job and anybody came up in your face, screaming, blowing whistles. Taking your picture and yelling and calling you names and stuff. I mean, I don't know how they do it. I couldn't do it. I literally could not take it. And it's the freaking Democrats. They want to keep all the illegal immigrants. That's why they opened the border, and it worked. They're getting away with it. All right. We got tweets. We got Flounders, funnies. We got stuff. We got news. Oh, and we got what the Democrats really care about coming up. Caught them once again. And smoking. I want to start smoking. We did a whole smoking thing. Morning Show did a whole smoking thing, too, and I put it on Facebook. Talk about it coming up. Kevin Pete will be back. Flounder and Joe Baseball helping out.
It's time for the Bortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3.
Well, maybe it's time for a short attention span commentary, because today I find myself with a very short attention span. First, the Democrats and their fight against voter ID. God forbid a voter should ever have to prove who they are before they cast a vote. In California, a conservative newspaper called the California Post recently told us all that in all the California lawsuits against voter ID, not one single activist, a word I'm learning to hate, not one ever presented a witness or a plaintiff who could claim that they were denied the privilege of voting because they could not identify themselves. Next, to get my attention, Representative Maxine Dexter, Democrat, 3rd Congressional District, Washington State. She is upset with RFK because he promotes whole milk. She claims that's tied to white supremacy, and it's dog whistling. She also says that promoting whole milk ignores the fact that black communities may have less access to whole milk and may not be able to afford it. Well, buy a damn cow. A new Harvard study now claiming that Islamophobia may actually be caused by Muslims trying to murder people. Well, that makes sense. And before I go make my first cup of coffee, first of many, let's remember that in Mecca, Saudi Arabia, March 11th, 2002, 15 girls died when their school caught on fire. They died because the Saudi religious police blocked their exit from the burning school because they did not meet the dress code. They weren't wearing head coverings. Ponder that. Neil Bortz, Extra 106.3.
Thousands of veterans across Georgia are missing out on the benefits they've earned through their service. The Warrior Alliance is changing that by connecting veterans and their families to life-changing resources and support. Tune into the Warrior Alliance Network, our podcast and radio show dedicated to helping veterans succeed after service. Join us every Saturday at 11 a.m. on 106.3 to hear inspiring veteran stories, discover free programs, and learn about career opportunities available to you. Subscribe to the Warrior Alliance YouTube channel today.
Did you know that there are over 34,000 lawyers in the state of Georgia? Yet despite that huge number, Bruce Hagen was recently named by his peers as one of the top 100 lawyers in the state. Do you know who is not among the top 100 lawyers in the state? Some clown standing on top of an 18-wheeler. Those kind of lawyers may make flashy ads, but they're just marketers, not real lawyers. If you've been injured in a car wreck, you need Bruce Hagen, a real lawyer who tries cases and wins. Call Bruce Hagen. He's the real deal for your injury case. Hagen-law.com.
Of all the radio ads I've ever done, I only advertised one thing that I think saved my life. My CPAP machine. Sleep apnea. And I found the best CPAP dealer out there ever. Roddy at CPAPs, etc. in Alpharetta. CPAPsETC.com. Everything you need, all the supplies, shipped anywhere at a price that often beats insurance. CPAPsETC.com. Go take a peek now.
It's the hardest working part of your home, your garage door. When it fails, you need someone you can trust. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage, Entry Doors, and Windows. When the largest and most important opening of your home breaks, don't hire a schmo. Call the local name you know, All Four Seasons. Ask your neighbors. We offer upfront pricing, free estimates on all major brands, and 24/7 service. When trust matters, trust us. All the number 4 Seasons Garages.com.
When you're ready for a new truck, SUV, or car, there's one place Atlanta drivers keep coming back to: Jim Ellis Chevrolet.
That's because Jim Ellis Chevrolet makes buying a Chevy quick, easy, and hassle-free.
No pressure, no games, just a smooth, transparent experience from start to finish.
And the Chevy lineup is stacked, from the legendary Silverado to the versatile Equinox to the bold new Blazer and the fuel-saving Chevy EVs.
Plus, they've got a huge selection in stock right now, which means more choices, better availability, and competitive competitive pricing you can feel good about.
Here's the best part. You don't even have to start at the dealership. You can shop online, value your trade, schedule a test drive, even complete your paperwork from home. It's called the Jim Ellis Expressway, and it lets you buy the way you want. In-store, online, or a mix of both.
And when you do step inside, you're treated like a guest, not a transaction. That's the Jim Ellis difference. Shop online at JimEllisChevrolet.com or visit Jim Ellis Chevy on Peachtree Boulevard just inside the perimeter.
Jim Ellis Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Here we go now. Little Van Halen. Kimmer, Pete will be back. Flounder and Joe Baseball helping us out here, having a little fun on our Tuesday. Van Halen 86 released their 7th album, 5150, and that was Van Halen's first album to top the chart. The first of 4 albums to be recorded with lead singer Sammy Hagar, who replaced David Lee Roth, and it was named after Eddie Van Halen's home studio, addressed 5150, and that was in turn named after a California law enforcement term for a mentally disturbed person. Now we got a code 5150 here. So Van Halen picked that to go with it. Rather bizarre, but fine.
That's what Eddie Van Halen named his music studio, 5150 Studios.
Yes, indeed. I recall just saying that.
Oh, did you say that? I'm sorry.
No,
I thought you were talking about the album.
Well, no, you're checking over there. Well, named after a studio, but again, I phrased it that way, so it was, you would have obviously would have missed it because I phrased it a different syntax.
I like to think I have a good ear.
And let's see, birthday. Let's do we got a birthday. I thought I picked. Here we go. Designer Bob Mackie is 86. He was famous for doing Cher, right? Well, doing is unfortunate. He was the famous Bob Mackie designer for the Cher clothes on Sonny and Cher show, and it was all glamorous. It was back in the days. You don't remember the name, even the name Loretta Young, I'll bet, do you?
I've heard of the name, but I'd have to Google it to see.
Joe Baseball, you ever heard of the name Loretta Young? The actress of the,
No.
She was very prim and proper, and she was very glamorous, and very quiet and very mature.
All black and white films.
All black and white, and she had a long gown, and they would literally floor length, beautiful gowns. Every you open up her show, the Loretta Young show, and she would come waltzing in with her. It's the damnest thing you ever saw, but they were huge. Anyway, Bob Mackie, thing there, and on this day, I think I had a thing there, 1958. Hip-swinging Elvis Presley inducted into the United States Army. Elvis's manager was there with a photographer to capture the historic day. Elvis was 23 years old, showed no nervousness or sadness, unlike his mother Gladys, who was falling apart. When Elvis was away in Germany, his mother passed away. Also, Elvis, he served as a regular soldier, took a $100,000 pay cut. It was during the time in Germany, Elvis met his future wife, Priscilla, became dependent on stimulants and barbiturates, led to his divorce and ultimately his death in 1977. Elvis was only 42, but he was served in the Army in Germany for 2 years. Let's see, Kimmer, Pete's will be back, and Flounder and Joe Baseball. And let's do a little something here. Should we do a little something here? Joe, do you know anything about this? A little thing here. Did we do anything? We don't really know anything about
Pete's tweets.
There you go. There you go. We got a little something here because everything's fine, and we want to continue as we always do. A little something we like to call Pete's tweets.
All right, am I starting off here?
Yeah,
Let's
sure.
See
What do you got
here. Where are we going?
Well, I got one right offhand. Just in, Babylon B says CNN has called the war for Iran. Iran won. It's over. Well, wait a minute. CNN, you're dirty.
Mr. Star Spangled MAGA tweets, just because you have a Democrat in the car doesn't mean that you can park in a handicapped spot.
Although it ought to be.
Billy Baldwin tweets, Trump pulling out of the Iran nuclear deal caused this war. Capone tweets back, too bad your father didn't pull out.
Ho-ha! Yow!
Let's see, Little Pig's Barbecue, Ramadan special, which was last week, but pulled pork special sandwich is $2.99. Muslims eat free. You should have to, Proud Elephant tweets, you should have to pass a drug test to receive welfare since I must pass one to earn it for you.
Wow, that's a good point. If you work for a place where they give you a drug test to make your money, and then you're giving your money to somebody who doesn't have to take a drug test to take it for free.
Absolutely.
Wow. Hadn't thought about that.
All right. Let's see here.
How about this one? How about Babylon B? Tucker Carlson loses on Wheel of Fortune after guessing Israel on every puzzle.
Reggie Bush tweets, I never understand how restaurants serve cold or lukewarm food when it's supposed to be hot, especially if food is your only source of income. And then when I told the waitress it was cold, she brought back a different plate that was still cold. To which Andy responds, I once drafted a running back in fantasy football that got me 3 yards on the season. Some people just suck at what they do.
Well, put it in perspective.
Perry Sloan tweets, when you push a pull door and the person behind you says, you need to pull. Ah, cheers, lad, thanks. My next shot was to start lifting from the bottom.
I love it. I love it. To the phones, take a priority. Fish Stick, you're on the radio. How's it going? Been a long time. What's up?
It's been a while, Kimmer. You said something about Bob Mackey.
Yeah.
And didn't he design for Carol Burnett? Didn't he come up with that curtain?
The curtain,
for
for the Gone with the Wind scene where she takes the curtains down and he still left the wind or the long what do you call it? The thing you hang the curtain on, the rod, the curtain rod in the shoulders. I remember.
All right, that's about it. You said the name and it was like, golly, that's got to be connected to Carol Burnett.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. All right, thank you, Fish Sticks.
Good job.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. Now, of course, Joe, do you know my Carol Burnett story?
I've probably heard it.
Oh, okay.
But you can tell it again.
Well, no, I mean, Flounders sleeves. Don't she kissed me. You never heard the story about how Carol Burnett kissed me on the cheek?
Why'd she kiss you on the cheek?
Well, because I was in the Marines and I would, for some reason, I'd been stationed a day with Jim Neighbors, Carol Burnett, and Nancy Sinatra. It was the four of us in a trailer. They were there to celebrate the birthday anniversary of Camp Pendleton before I went overseas. And so we spent the whole afternoon together, and it was really nice and fun. And we came out of the trailer. We were time to go to do something. We were coming out of the trailer. I came out and held the door, and then I walked down the steps of the trailer, and Carol Burnett was behind me, and there was a photographer from San Diego Union or Tribune or one of those places. And he said, Miss Burnett, can I get a picture? And she said, sure. And as he got his camera ready, she grabbed me by the head and kissed me on the cheek. And that photograph was in every newspaper in America. This is a true story. In 1967, maybe, because I was gone in 68, 67. And it was in every newspaper in America. I sent some home to my mother and father, of course, my mother in particular, and they were thrilled. And my mother, true story, my mother wrote a letter addressed Carol Burnett, Hollywood, California. That's all. She didn't have it. It's just Carol Burnett, Hollywood, California. And in that letter, my mother asked Carol Burnett if she remembered her son and if she, by chance, had a photograph that she could send, Carol Burnett got the letter from my mother and wrote her back. And Carol Burnett wrote my mother to say, I remember your son. We had a great time, and I hope he does well. Or something. It was just, what an amazing story. Carol Burnett, Jim Neighbors, and Nancy Sinatra. And Carol Burnett kissed me on the cheek and wrote a letter to my mother. I mean,
it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it's just an amazing story. And Nancy Sinatra, I'll never forget, was so teeny. God, she couldn't have weighed 80 pounds. She looked like you could put your hand around her waist. Really, she just teeny weeny and had nothing to say. She was pleasant and nice, but she really didn't have much to say about anything, and she wasn't particularly happy to be there. But again, she's a big star, Frank Sinatra's kid. So anyway, whatever. All right, 427. Kimmer, Pete, they'll be back, and Flounder, and Joe Baseball filling in. We're going to talk some more sport. We're going to talk some more sports coming up here. Now, Joe, are you a big Sweet 16 guy? You're running a baseball operation for the Braves here at the 106.3. But are you a sports guy, as in Sweet 16, all that kind of stuff?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
March Madness, the whole thing.
Do you know? Is there still a perfect game possible? One of those chart things or not? Do we know? Have they all been eliminated?
No, they're all eliminated.
Yeah.
A guy had the entire first round.
Really? That's pretty good.
It was just one person.
Remember, who was it who used to offer like $10 million for?
It was Warren Buffett.
Was it Warren Buffett that did it?
I think he offered like $1 billion.
Yeah, well, yeah, maybe it might have been $1 billion. Or 100 million. Yeah, it might have been $1 billion. Might have been $1 billion.
I think it was $1 billion. I think the offer still stands.
Yeah, I think it might. Well,
he's just like, if anyone wins it, they get $1 billion.
Are phenomenal. I don't know how you could ever do it with all those teams, and anything could happen in any game.
You're more likely to win the lottery like 5 times.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so we'll talk about more sports coming up. And I also have a couple of sports stories, including a good news story for a pitcher who thought he was done. And also a girl basketball coach, I think it's Syracuse, is furious over the way the NCAA is running things here for the girls' teams, too. Anyway, we'll stuff like that coming up here. 428, gosh. All right. And, hey, we got a phone call take priority. John, you're on the radio, man. Hi, welcome aboard. What's up?
Kimmer, that's a great story about Carol Burnett. I was kind of curious.
Yeah.
Would Jim Neighbors kiss you?
You know, actually, I don't know whether he wanted to or not. He did not. Whether he wanted to or not, I don't know. But I will say this. Jim Neighbors, who played Gomer Pyle and all those other things on Andy Griffith Show and everything, Jim Neighbors was one of the nicest gentlemen and down to earth and just as friendly and pleasant. And no, big deal thing about it. It was just as nice as he could be. It was really, really very, very nice, very charming. And Carol Burnett was too. She was just a bubble and happy, and just like she is on TV, like she was on TV. And but that was fun anyway. John, thanks for the memory. It's true. And again, I don't have any pictures of that afternoon. For some reason, I don't know. Well, the Carol Burnett picture that my mother, but I don't have I don't have a picture of the four of us standing around. Anyway, I have a picture of me and Archie Manning and Dan Pastorini, but I don't have a picture of the either. All right, 4:30. Come repeat. Come back on Flounder and Joe Baseball on 106.3. Beautiful afternoon Tuesday. Braves start playing for real on Friday. I can't believe it. Right here at home too. God bless America. Look out.
Stream Atlanta's only conservative voice anywhere you go with the Extra 106.3 app. Now equipped with Apple CarPlay. That means you'll always have Extra's crystal clear HD stream right on your dashboard no matter where you are. Download the all-new Extra 106.3 app now and start streaming.
Gentlemen, listen up. When it's not hard, it's really hard. Did you know that 50% of men over 50 have some form of ED? It's true, and I'm one of them. ED followed me everywhere. Heck, even my initials are ED. I'm Dr. Eric Deal from Total Body Therapy of Georgia, and I know ED. It can lead to feelings of embarrassment, stress, and sadness. But there's good news. I can fix it. I fixed mine, and I can fix yours too. At Total Body Therapy of Georgia, we are experts in the P-shot, testosterone replacement, regenerative therapy, Trimix to create an erection, and more. Guys, ED won't get better on its own, but I can help you today. Call us at 404-777-1911. That's 404-777-1911, or learn about us more online at tbtofga.com. So take it from me, ED, Dr. Eric Deal at Total Body Therapy of Georgia. Call 404-777-1911 or online at tbtofga.com.
Hello.
Hey, is this Mike Fitzgerald?
No, I think you have the wrong number. Wish I could help you.
Well, you could if you were Mike Fitzgerald.
Who is Mike Fitzgerald?
Mike Fitzgerald is the only realtor I'll talk to because he can sell my house fast for a great price and even in this market.
Yeah, I'm definitely not Mike Fitzgerald.
Oh, I figured that out because Mike Fitzgerald would have sold my house already.
Selling your home? You need Mike Fitzgerald from the Harry Norman Realtors team. Visit brokermike.com or call 678-780-HOME.
Heads up, Atlanta. Spring is coming and your house needs some work. You've got those sticky doors, maybe some wood rot, that deck board that seems just fine, that screen you've been meaning to replace since last year. Give us a call at the Trusted Toolbox and get ahead of it. With our handyman for a day service, you make the list and we knock it out. Schedule your appointment today at thetrustedtoolbox.com or call 770-623-3097. That's 770-623-3097. One call, one handyman, one day, the Trusted Toolbox.
Time now for the Retire Wise Report. James Parker here with financial advisor Sean Maloney, founder and CEO of Retire Wise. Many people assume their taxes will automatically go down once they retire and stop collecting paychecks. Sean, is this a dangerous assumption?
It can be because, you know what? Lower taxes in retirement can be a myth. It's not always true.
right? Remember, up to 85% of your Social Security benefits could be taxed, right? Your traditional IRA and 401k income is 100% taxable, so that needs to be accounted for. And that's why it's so important to find ways to reduce or eliminate your taxes wherever possible.
Tell us about the offer you have for our listeners.
Hey, look, now is the time to start looking ahead and identifying your tax liabilities in retirement. Well, we have a great resource for you guys. We have what's called the Retire Happy Framework Toolkit. You can get a copy today by calling or texting the word WISE to 770-802-2200. My team helped put together this just for you, and it's a complimentary guide. And the center of this is a copy of my latest book, The Priority of Retirement. It has chapters on everything from Social Security to investments to income planning. We include guides in there as well as on strategies for income planning, for taxes, and even dealing with recessions in retirement, among other things. So if you want to get this information in your hands today, call or text the word WISE to 770-802-2200. That's 770-802-2200.
Take advantage of this offer. Get your Retire Happy Framework today. Just text WISE to 770-802-2200. And the team at Retire Wise will get you your Retire Happy Framework right away. So just call or text WISE to 770-802-2200. Investment advisory services made available through AE Wealth Management, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Firm does not provide tax services.
Hey, this is Los with David from Atlanta, who just purchased his new car with the Honest Car Guy, the new, fully transparent way to buy your next vehicle. David, tell us about your experience.
I had been looking for a vehicle for a couple months. The car buying process was a little challenging at first for me. I had some credit issues in the past, and I just happened to hear a familiar voice on the radio, and it happened to be on the Honest Car Guy ad. I got in touch with Tom. Within 2, maybe 3 days, I had a vehicle being shipped here from Orlando, Florida. I have already recommended him to family members, several friends, and I'll purchase a car from Tom when I make my next purchase for sure.
Friends, if you're in the market for a pre-owned car, truck, or SUV, get an honest car buy from the Honest Car Guy. You pay what we pay, plus an honest fee, and we back that up by giving you the bill of sale. That's our transparency guarantee. Call 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME1, or visit honestcarguy.com.
Oh, now, now Joe said, helping us out
Welcome
today.
To the Kimmer Show
every day,
update.
Let's
check in with Pete and the scoreboard. Stories prepared versus stories actually covered.
The news, it's hard to get everything in with all breaking news.
That's what she said. Get it all in there.
Trump.
Well, out of the 11 stories,
yes, I backed
you
off
seem to be good with the number 4 lately.4 today and 4 yesterday.
There you go. So there you are. Anyway, well, very kind. All right, 4:36 on the clock, Rudy. With a Kimmer, Pete will be back, and Flounder and Joe Baseball with our great appreciation filling in. And our birthday, I mentioned Bob Mackey, the designer, is 86. And also, designer Tommy Hilfiger America figure is 75. Well, I used to call him that. Tommy Hilfiger is 75. And what bothered me, like years ago, I remember when I first realized who he was, and he has his clothes, has a special logo, stuff like that. And he always used to use his logos on American flag clothing that people were sitting on. I mean, one after another campaign, for some reason, he would have the American flag, people sitting on the American flag, and with his clothes. I mean, I don't know what it was. I don't know whether he was making a thing or what, but I was offended by it. But I don't know whether he's still doing that or not. Anyway, Tommy Hilfiger is 75. I don't even know if he's still making clothes, for that matter. All right, Flounder, I'll give you a choice here. I've got a history thing. Either the phrase tarred and feathered or history or a heroic bird. It's your choice. Do you want to hear for history? Do you want to hear tarred and feathered or heroic bird?
Heroic bird.
Heroic bird, ladies and gentlemen. On this day in 1943, American carrier pigeon, World War II, known as G.I. Joe. The carrier pigeon G.I. Joe credited with saving over 1,000 British troops. U.S. air bombings were scheduled against German positions at Calavicci, Italy. But the British troops had captured the village. So unable to get a message to the Americans to stop the bombings, they sent the carrier pigeon named G.I. Joe. The pigeon traveled 20 miles in 20 minutes with a message which was delivered just in time to stop the bombings and save 1,000 British troops who would have been blown to smithereens. Carrier pigeon in 1943, World War II. Well, there you go. Kevin, Pete will be back in Flounder and Joe Baseball. And Donald Trump says Iran's agreed no nukes. And again, I don't know how seriously to take that. The news isn't exploding with that message. Donald Trump, you heard him say the word. In fact, you have that soundbite there, Joe, handy, by the way. Here's Donald Trump earlier today. Again, he announced that he's got the new Homeland Security Director for Mark Wayne Mullen, swore him in and so forth. And then it took questions again. Donald Trump opening his office to the press and the public, just anything you want to know. And he was asked about the Iran deal, and I'm flabbergasted. He said this as an announcement. Yes, sir.
Turning point to make you want to pursue a ceasefire? A few days ago, you said you wanted to continue bombing Iran. Now you want to pursue peace talks. Was there something that happened?
The fact that they're talking to us and they're talking sense. And remember, it all starts with they cannot have a nuclear weapon. I said yesterday, they said, what are the top 10? I said, well, number 1, 2, and 3 is they can't have a nuclear weapon. And they're not going to have a nuclear weapon, and we're talking about that. And I don't want to say in advance, but they've agreed they will never have a nuclear weapon. They've agreed to that.
They've agreed to never have a nuclear weapon? How come the news isn't exploding with nothing about that story and the reaction to it all over the world? Obviously, people aren't taking it seriously, as I am, apparently. I mean, that's pretty astounding. President Trump also said the Iran leadership has sent a, quote, significant gift worth a tremendous amount of money, and then saying whatever the gift is connected to the Strait of Hormuz. But again, no nuclear weapon. They've agreed no nuclear weapons. I'm amazed. And I'm also amazed at this, and again, it's kind of cool because we've got one more on our side. A resurfaced post by that slimy Democratic Senator Chris Murphy of Connecticut. I'll tell you, this guy is one of the biggest gaslighting liars that Congress and the Senate have ever produced. He's one of these guys like Adam Schiff for brains, who just say things that they know are lies, that Donald Trump's a Russian agent, stuff like that. Chris Murphy's one of the worst. And now he's been caught back a year ago when he was on SUC, and they asked him about negotiations between Democrats and Republicans 2 years ago at the time that they wanted to have a border security bill. Democrats wanted to get funding for Ukraine instead of pushing for the path to citizenship for illegal immigrants, which is what they did, why they opened the border, to get the path to citizenship for all those millions of illegals, thinking they would vote Democrat, as the party's done concentrating on that in the past. Here's what Murphy said. Again, Chris Murphy, the slimy traitor from Connecticut. He said, well, that's been a failed plan for 20 years. That's been the Democrat strategy for 30 years. It's failed to deliver for the people we care about most, the undocumented Americans that are in this country. We have failed to deliver for the people we care about most, the undocumented Americans that are in this country. Emblematic of their motivation to end the shutdown of the Department of Homeland Security, stop the ICE agents from arresting illegals because they want them to vote. And when the Democrats take control again, they're going to make them all citizens, or they're going to make them eligible to vote as a pseudo-citizen or something. They'll pass it, and they'll do it with glee. Reaction: this is absolutely proven to be true never more than this week. Treachery. Elon Musk calls it treachery. Reaction: he really said that out loud, and this guy wants to be president. Unbelievable. 442. How you doing over there, Flounder? Everything all right over there?
Fabulous.
Do you have that headline thing you were saying, or is that just for kicks? Flounder's been scrolling through stuff here, and when we do a funny, amazing things, we always like to point them out.
Where was this?
Checking the news of the world.
Oh, yeah.
Again, there's no big headlines on Donald Trump saying they've agreed no nukes, but here's another headline you may have
Florida man and woman arrested after pickleball brawl involving alligator and a golf cart chase at a retirement community.
It sounds so perfect for me.
Yeah, you're right up your alley.
I thought, back when I thought I had money, I would, Margaritaville looked like a really fun place to go. By the way, speaking of bizarre stories, and I don't have a problem with this whatsoever. In Utah, a woman named Shannon Tafuga, 40 years old, has been charged with kidnapping, among other things, kidnapping and aggravated child abuse because of the way her 11-year-old son was treated. Shannon Tafuga's a mom. Her son's 11-year-old bully was riding his bike around the neighborhood, and so the mother was driving around looking specifically for the boy who'd been picking on her son. She found him, she confronted him, she corralled him into her car, hightailed it back to her home in Provo, Utah, and kept the 11-year-old bully there until he apologized to her son personally. The boy did apologize, but even then, the vengeful mom, it says here, wouldn't let up. According to the police report, she threatened to have her husband beat the crap out of the bully and sneered that he was lucky she didn't run over him on his bike. He was 11. Tafuga eventually drove the shell-shocked kid back home, causing him serious emotional distress. His family's now saying he suffers from high anxiety, had to alter his daily routines. Oh, you mean like not picking on other kids that he's bigger than? You mean stuff like that? He had to alter that routine? Anyway, so the mom's charged with child kidnapping and aggravated child abuse. Second-degree felonies, both. They originally first-degree felonies, which would have put her in jail for 40 years. And the Attorney General or County Attorney's Office says the reduction would be an interest in justice, but still, she's been arrested on some very serious kidnapping and aggravated child abuse felonies, and her son is autistic. And that's why she's gotten fed up with people picking on her kid. And I don't blame her. In fact, there was a story yesterday in the news, and I found it, and I didn't even pull it out to talk about because it made me too sad. Another child who'd been bullied in school killed himself. A kid, young kid. And again, you can thank your, phone, your portable television satellite station for all of it. It's just horrible. I didn't even pull the story because it was just too sad. How's this keep happening? Parents and kids and schools and not doing anything about things that are important. And anyway. All right, here we go. 4:45 already. Holy smokes. We got sports coming up and more tweets and Flounders funnies. And hey, we got it all here. 106.3. How's your Tuesday? Look at it.
Conservative news and talk station while you work at extra1063.com. Get the latest from the Morning Extra, The Kimmer Show, and Neil Bortz, and stay connected at the office. That's xtra1063.com.
Shop in the new 2026 Toyota Camry. Psst, come here. Make your move right now during Toyota's Ready, Set, Go sales event now through March 31st. At Marietta Toyota, every new Toyota includes our nationwide lifetime powertrain warranty. That's unlimited time and unlimited mileage for as long as you own your Toyota. And you can buy with confidence. Marietta Toyota is a BBB A+ rated business with a 4.6-star Google rating and over 11,000 reviews. Right now, we've got strong Camry inventory, so you can choose the trim and color you actually want. Special APR is available as well on new 2026 Camrys, 4.99% APR for 72 months for well-qualified buyers. Visit us on Cop Parkway South, just north of Truist Stadium, Marietta Toyota. Since 1975, we've been here and we'll be here for you.
4.99% APR for 72 months with approved credit through Southeast Toyota Finance. Not all buyers are qualified. Offer ends 3/31/26. Lifetime powertrain warranty included with every new Toyota purchase. See dealer for details.
If you live in Georgia, you already see it. The cars are turning yellow, the pollen is here, and this year, with an earlier and warmer spring projected, it's hitting even sooner. But here's what matters most. It's not just what's outside, it's what your family is breathing inside. Your kids, your pets, you. Your HVAC system doesn't just control the temperature. It circulates the air throughout your entire home. And without proper filtration and purification, that air can carry pollen, dust, and allergens right through every room. Central specializes in whole home air purification systems. Advanced filtration, humidity control, and high-efficiency carrier systems are designed to support healthier indoor air. When you combine air purification technology with dependable carrier performance, you're creating a cleaner, more comfortable environment retirement for the people who matter most. Right now, you can receive up to $1,700 in rebates plus 60 months 0% financing on qualified systems, making it easier to protect your home before allergy season peaks. Call 770-GET-HEAT or go to centralheat.com today. Central Heating and Air, delivering carrier comfort for the world we share.
Attention, Antifa, human traffickers, cartels, and woke DAs. With Chris Carr as governor, you won't stand a chance.
I'm Chris Carr. In Georgia, we will prosecute you. It's easy for politicians to talk tough, but I'm the only Republican who put gangs, human traffickers, and Antifa behind bars. I even fought Obama, Biden, and Abrams in court and won. If you're attacking our police or our freedoms, I'll be your worst nightmare.
Chris Carr doesn't just talk tough. Carr had the courage, brought the cases, and locked up the criminals. He has more than 120 gang convictions. Over 200 human trafficking victims have been rescued and seized enough fentanyl to kill 3.5 million Georgians. Carr's taking on the woke left, making crime illegal again. As governor, Chris Carr will keep up the fight and never back down. Chris Carr, governor. Real fights, real wins, real conservative. Paid for by Carr for Georgia.
Attention Atlanta, it's the biggest truckload safe sale of the year at Safe Market and Liberty Safes of Atlanta. And it's happening for 3 days only. We're slashing prices by up to 40% on top quality American-made safes. Home safes, gun safes, commercial safes. With 3 showrooms, there's never been a better time to buy. But hurry, when the truck's empty, the deals are gone. Shop online or come into one of our 3 stores for even bigger savings. March 26th through March 28th only. Call 770-242-0055 or visit thesafemarket.com.
If you got a chance. Join us Saturday, June 13th as the Atlanta Braves and Live Nation host the first ever Braves Country Fest, presented by Truist. A celebration of Braves baseball and country music featuring Cody Johnson and Ella Langley, along with Ernest and Mackenzie Carpenter, as well as musical performances and activities inside the Battery Atlanta. A portion of proceeds benefit the Atlanta Braves Foundation. Get your tickets at braves.com/Braves Country Fest.
Hey, it's Front Office Lowe's for Howard Brothers. Looking for the right tools, equipment, and expert advice for your next project? Head over to Howard Brothers. They're the best one-stop shop for outdoor projects. With locations across North Georgia and a team that's always ready to serve, let Howard Brothers be your go-to for outdoor power, service, hardware, and more. Stop by today or visit howardbrothers.com. The grass is always greener and projects always easier when you take care of it with Howard Brothers.
I like my Christine version stuff better when she sings me home every night. Fleetwood Mac. How you doing? 106.3 and it's Tuesday. Beautiful day. Yeah, I got that one here. 1977, Fleetwood Mac released Dreams. It was their 11th studio album, Rumors. It became their, and this is amazing to me, it became their first and only #1 hit single in America. Their only #1 hit in America was Dreams?
Fleetwood Mac, yeah, you always wonder about this.
I know, it's amazing to me. Stevie Nicks wrote this song in 76 at the Record Plant Studio in Sausalito in 10 minutes on a day when she wasn't even supposed to be in the studio. Sausalito is where also, when I told you the other day about the story when I was doing TV work in San Francisco at KRON, and I went to Sausalito was where they had the studio for Jefferson Starship when the police were hauling away all their cars. And I'm afraid my baseball drill hadn't heard that story either. Jefferson Starship, but I'm interviewing Steve Cantner or whoever those guys were when the cops were all hauling off their BMWs and Ferraris and stuff for some kind of fraud thing or what, I forgot what it was. Hell, it was 40 years ago. Anyway, Sausalito, I used to ride my Harley over to Sausalito, and there was a little, in Mill Valley in Sausalito, there was a little restaurant in Sausalito, and every Sunday morning I would drive my Harley over there, across the bridge from Tiburon, across the Golden Gate Bridge, and I would go to Sausalito, and I would get a cheeseburger with a fried egg on it. And I'd never had that before. And it was one of the most delicious things I've ever had in my life. And of course, the egg has to be fried just right, so it's a little runny, but
not too runny.
Oh man! On top of a cheeseburger with a beautiful roll and soft bread. Oh mercy! Anyway, Sausalito, California. Thanks for the memories. Let's see. Did I? That was our song. That's Stevie. That was the Stevie Nicks. She wrote that song. All right. Hold on. There we go. And now, let's see a quick birthday list. How about that naughty Jessica Chastain? That naughty little ginger, Jessica Chastain, is 49. Great acting ability in Zero Dark 30. I have to say, very impressive. And also, she was in The Martian, The Help. And you know her. She's in a million other things, I'm sure. Jessica Chastain, 49 years old today. In fact, 30 Rock. Zero Dark 30's on quite a bit. And let's see, on this day in history, well, let's do a little war thing. Here we go. I was thinking of Zero Dark 30. On this day in 2003, Secretary of Defense Donald Rumsfeld talks about weapons of mass destruction, WMDs. Quote, "We have seen intelligence over many months that they have chemical and biological weapons and that they have dispersed them and that they've weaponized and that in one case at least the command and control arrangements have been established for weapons of mass destruction." Despite the claims, the White House would later admit that their information was not exactly correct, and there was no evidence of biological weapons found. Apparently, nothing there, what they said. But again, at the time, it sounded good, and a reason to go over there was kind of like the Gulf of Tonkin resolution. A little late to take it back now, They send me back now. Anyway, 4:54 already. And let's see, by the way, I mentioned a woman who kidnapped the kid who was bullying her autistic son until he apologized. Now she could face prison for a while. I doubt very much that she's going to go to prison, that woman in Utah. But now, here's a case in Boston. And I can't believe this, and I'm glad about it, that they're actually supporting the police in one case, at least in Boston, Massachusetts. A Boston cop named Nicholas O'Malley was arrested because a woman told police she was sitting in her car, running vehicle, when a man identified as somebody named King assaulted her, dragged her out of the car, and then drove off in the car. So Officer O'Malley and another officer approached the vehicle, ordered King to show his hands and shut off the car. King had a long criminal history. They knew him very well. He raised his hands and then partially opened the window, but then he didn't comply. And the cop said, "Bro, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to blanking shoot you," warning King before he smashed into the police cruiser, trying to flee the scene. So O'Malley, as a cop, the bad guy was trying to run him down. O'Malley, the cop, drew his firearm and fired 3 shots and killed him. Now, before you rest a judgment, he's been charged. He's been charged in the fatal shooting. But now there's been a fundraiser, a GoFundMe, for the police officer shooting the bad guy, and it's over $400,000. And a couple of Boston city councilors, I think this is really great news. They're saying, don't rush to judgment. Now, this is Boston. They hate the police. They hate ICE agents. They hate law enforcement in Boston. But so now a city councilor is saying, wait a minute now, the officer makes a split-second decisive action during an intense encounter with a known violent criminal who had just committed a heinous and violent crime. And the officer reacts in a manner he thought was best to protect the public and his partner. We cannot jump to conclusions. None of us were in there in that moment. None of us had to make that split-second decision with a fast-moving, dangerous situation. God bless them. It's good to see. It's good to hear. Anyway, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder will be back. Pete will be back. Flounders here with Joe Baseball. we have another Flounders Funny. We got sports coming up shortly, and another Flounders Funny here in a minute. And also, I heard the morning show this morning, and they were talking about the new trend towards smoking. Have you heard about this? It's now Hollywood's making smoking good again, or fun again, or cool again, trying to show you're grown up and everything else. Just the reason I started smoking when I was 10. Garvin O'Mealy taught me how to inhale by swallowing it. To try to, Joe, have you ever smoked? Are you a smoker? Okay, but again, the first time, it's you don't know what to do. I mean, you have to try to figure out some way to get it down in there. And I remember he said, "Well, kind of, swallow it, like you're swallowing it."
That's what she said.
And anyway, now are you a current smoker? May I ask? Is that a thing?
I vape a little.
Okay, all right, vaping. All right, I guess that's the same for me.
But I keep cigarettes on deck. It's good if you're drinking.
Well, I'll tell you what.
And then I like to go outside on my porch and I'll read a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'll light up a little cigarette.
I like it.
And it's a nice little vibe.
I'm
digital versus analog.
Exactly. You got to mix it up.
Yeah. Well, I put a video on Facebook and my YouTube page about my pack of Lucky Strikes.
You
that
still
I've got
have 'em?
there. I still got them. Anyway, well, let's talk about coming. How about we got Flounders Funny back there? How about one more? You got time? Hey, here we go. One more.
I love my wife. I love her family. She has a sister. We're buddies. I was hanging out with my wife's sister the other day. And you ever send a text message too quick and you miss a letter or a word and it like changes the whole text? We've all had that. I had that happen recently. I was hanging out with my sister-in-law and my wife texted and she wrote, "How's things going with my sister?" And I wrote back, "Great. She's a lot of fun. I wish you were her." That's a bad text.
Not a good text.
I meant to write, "I wish you were here," obviously. I felt bad. I had to call her. I was like, "Hey, I didn't mean to write that. I was distracted. I was trying to your sister." But I got a little confused. But I wish you were here so we could all fool around a little, like in the movies.
Mr. Joe List right there.
Joe List. Anyway, excellent. 449 and 59. And by the way, it's true. I started smoking Luckies when that was my first cigarette. That was my only favorite cigarette when I was, I think, 10. And my parents allowed us to smoke when we were 16. When I was in prep school in fifth form, junior year in prep school, we were allowed to smoke pipes. We had a concrete room in the basement of the dorms, and in our sixth form, senior year, we were able to smoke cigarettes in prep school. And my parents gave us permission to smoke when we were 16. But I used to sneak their butts. Everybody smoked. And I sneaked my parents' cigarette butts in the ashtrays and smoked down the last 2 puffs out of what was left of those things. I used to smoke 4 packs of Luckies in the Marine Corps. 4 packs a day. Lucky Strikes. Of course, they were also 11 cents a pack at the time. Anyway, coming up at 5 o'clock, Joe's here, having a good time with us on a Tuesday with a great appreciation. 106.3. It's a beautiful day. Brave start. Big time Charlie on Friday. What a story. A lot coming up.
The Morning Extra. Every weekday morning from 6 to 10 on WFOM and W292 EV Marietta. A Dickey Broadcasting Station. Extra 106.3.
A possible way out on Capitol Hill. On Lisa Brady, Fox News. President Trump says he would consider a plan emerging in the Senate to end a Homeland Security shutdown, though he's still not in favor of a deal in general.
I actually said to the Senate, why would you say this is a Democrat problem? I think the polls are showing us a Democrat problem. And they'll do anything actually to hurt our country so they can try and win the midterms.
Democrats have been pushing for immigration enforcement reform and have offered to go along with funding other DHS agencies. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries says a discharge petition to force a funding vote has more than 125 signatures.
That would make sure that we pay TSA agents, that we fund the Coast Guard, that we fund FEMA, and that we fund cybersecurity professionals.
Republicans say a possible compromise bill would leave out only a small part of ICE funding. Air travelers and TSA agents again bearing the brunt of a government shutdown with long security lines at some airports. Newly sworn in Homeland Security Secretary Markwayne Mullen meeting with DHS employees earlier today.
They're working for free because of political politics. That's all I need to know. I told him, as you're fighting 365 days, understand I'll be fighting 365 days beside you.
After his Oval Office ceremony, pledging to protect everybody the same as secretary. The president still offering optimism on talks to end the fighting with Iran.
The other side, I can tell you, they'd like to make a deal. And who wouldn't if you were there? Look, their Navy's gone, their Air Force is gone. Their communications are gone.
Pakistan offering to host talks. The New York Times just reporting the U.S. has sent Iran a 15-point plan to end conflict. Sources telling Israel's Channel 12 the U.S. is seeking a month-long ceasefire to discuss that plan. America is listening to Fox News.
If you don't care about saving 50% off your wireless bill for the same 5G coverage that big guys are charging a fortune for, maybe you care about keeping jobs in America. Pure Talk does. They've pledged to run their entire operation from this country, including all their customer service. Or maybe you care about our nation's veterans. Pure Talk does. They've donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to America's Warrior Partnership, a fantastic organization working hard to prevent veteran suicide. Or maybe you care about closing America's skills gap. Pure Talk does. They're a proud supporter of MicroWorks. They're helping my foundation train the next generation of skilled workers. Don't get me wrong. Saving money's great, and you'll save plenty with Pure Talk. But if you want to be in business with people who share your values, dial pound 250, say micro, and switch to an American wireless company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
Left shoulder, right up like, ready on your dog target. Help, road guards out. Look out. It's only me. It's only the giver. Pete Davis will be back. Flounders here. Joe Baseball filling in, helping us out here as we round up your Tuesday afternoon. Our number is 404-741-1230, 741-1230. If you'd like to join us, and we have Holy Crap at Sports coming up, and a lot of newsy stuff, breaking things. Donald Trump is now getting a lot of headlines finally where he said that Iran's agreed no nukes. And but I mean the world isn't exploding with reaction to it, so I don't know how much.
Is it no nukes or no nuke capability?
No nuclear weapons. Iran has pledged they will not have a nuclear weapon. At least somebody in Iran pledged that. Now, it may be the foreign minister who is going to be shunned aside as soon as Trump leaves or we leave or whatever. Anyway, of course, the Marines are still on the way and to the Karg Island. And so we'll see. Anyway, but Donald Trump says there's success against Iran. His deal is they gave him a significant gift worth a tremendous amount of money involving the Strait of Hormuz. And some of the reaction, Mad Dog Mattis has said that that may mean that we'll be able to control it. But again, we don't know. He's not. I guess he's got all planned out. We'll see. But it's really a spectacular. He's changing the world. If he gets, can you? How could the Democrats come up with a plan to have the only thing they could have to win on for the off-year elections this year will be the economy. If gas prices haven't gone back down and the economy hasn't kind of rebounded again like it has when every week all of a sudden the stock market goes up 1,000 and then down 500 and everything else, and they're still doing that today, so we'll see. But honestly, Donald Trump is doing all the right things for the world, for world peace, getting people together, stopping wars, coming up with agreements and treaties, and I mean it's just astounding, and it's really working. So anyway, good there. And by the way, until they come up with a deal on funding for airports, Delta says no more special perks for you people in Congress or your staff people. Delta is suspending what they call specialty services to members of Congress flying Delta. Our priority is our people and customers, which is becoming increasingly difficult in the current environment. And so Delta's perks include benefits like airport escorts, red coat services. The reservation line is open, but you got to wait like everybody else. And Ed Bastian, the CEO, says it's inexcusable you're using TSA workers as political chips. At Hartsfield-Jackson, there was waiting hours of 4 hours. Now it's way down, and apparently we've seen some video today, and because ICE agents are now doing the things that they can do that don't require special training at the airport, like x-ray machine technology, stuff like that, the lines have almost, I don't say disappeared, but it's also a Tuesday, which is not the same as a Monday, getting ready for the weeks and coming back.
Yeah, but when you're still like with major metropolitan cities like Atlanta and Philly busy. And all those places, they're always busy.
And it's gone. I mean, they showed some of the airports, it's just, it's like 40 minutes now, which is normal.
CNN and some of those outlets are kind of showing how the lines have.
But again, I love the fact that they're going to have to say thank you, ICE agents. Yeah. The reason these things are working out now is because of ICE agents. I mean, duh. I mean, think about it. They have to say thank you to the ICE agents. in order to get this done. All right, anyway, I just freaking love that part. Oh, and by the way, in case you missed it, there was some video going around of a woman with a youngster next to her at the San Francisco airport being arrested by ICE agents. Now they're saying fear-mongering. They're coming to get everybody at the airport. And they go, one thing the Democrats don't want is ICE agents at the airport, and they also don't want them at the election polls. Gee, I wonder why. Why would they not want ICE agents to make sure everybody has a valid ID before they vote? Anyway, we're coming up. But anyway, in San Francisco, the officers were arresting this woman. They were handcuffing her. She was crying. It was last night or the other night. And they were met with backlash from passengers who filmed the scene, calling them un-American and Nazis. What's your badge number? What's your name? Getting her up in their face. The agent was holding the crying woman. And the DHS said she was part of a family of illegal Guatemalans who were here as like a cult and a clan, and they've been here illegally for 7 years. So they arrested her as part of a targeted operation. They didn't just, say, hey, that woman looks bad, let's go get her. They were looking for her for good reason. She resisted arrest. She fought the agents. She fought them again when they caught her again. And then the people around them were saying, calling them names and getting in their face. Honestly, and photographers harassing them, putting cameras an inch from their eyeballs and stuff. Honestly, I'd be in jail. I don't know how they do it. I could not. I know I could not do it. I promise you right now, there's no way I could control myself for doing my job, arresting criminals, and having the backlash like that. And again, I don't know how this country's ever going to come back from the divide. Even a silly issue like this. How could you be against federal agents arresting criminals? I mean, seriously.
Trump deranged syndrome.
That's all it is. Astounding.
You have to. I mean, my only wonder is, will it be toned down a little bit because Trump will be out of office in 3 years?
Well, if J.D. Vance is president, he's more conservative than Trump.
But he's not loud like Trump is.
He's not a troublemaker like Donald Trump. In fact, that's why
more. You're right. He's more conservative than Trump is.
Yeah. But I'll bet you. I think my opinion right now, and this is 3 years early, is that Marco Rubio
takes the reins.
Is going to be
one thing they have to do is they have to unite and not bicker.
Right. I can't imagine that those two would fight each other. There's no way. Donald Trump called little Marco. Remember all the Donald Trump slandered everybody. 17 of them. He won. He knocked them all off one by one.
Him being Trump is what got him there.
But again, I think Marco Rubio, because J.D. Vance is the calm statesman kind of like. He's reasoned. He's smart. He's quick. He's got the answers. He's never lost his play. For a politician to never kind of get tricked or trapped into what I mean? It's never happened to him. Mm-mm. He's too smart for it.
Both of them are.
Yeah, and Marco Rubio, he's a firecracker too. I mean, so I think it looks great between the two of them. That could be 16 freaking years of getting this country back again. In fact, getting it back. Let's play. Cut number 1 here coming up here in a second. Joe Baseball. Ted Cruz today had a Senate hearing of the judiciary on how the politicization of the DOJ and the FBI by the FBI itself. And if you think that Watergate was something, here's Ted Cruz, cut number 1, saying you ain't seen nothing yet. What he found out. Number 1.
50 years ago, this nation was confronted with an abuse of power, and it responded not with indifference, but with accountability. And I'll tell you one of the big differences of Watergate versus Arctic Frost. When Richard Nixon and his corrupt attorney general and his corrupt administration abused their law enforcement powers to go after their political opponents, Republican senators stood up to the president of their own party and defended the rule of law. Where is even a single Democrat senator who has said one word about this abuse of power? Is there not one? There are 47 Democrats in this body. Is there not one who can come forward and say, you know what? Turning the Department of Justice into the Oppo research and attack machine of the DNC is not what the DOJ is supposed to be. We were tested then, and there was accountability. We are being tested again now.
And you can thank Christopher Wray, the disgrace of Atlanta, for letting all this happen, Arctic Frost and everything else. To the phones, take a priority. Hey, Shay is on the radio. Now, you've been down to the airport. What's the deal, man? Hiya.
Yeah, I do work down at the airport, so I was down there about 4 hours ago, something like that, and spent a couple hours down there. But I went around, looked at the security lines. It's a Tuesday. I often try to schedule my visits down there on Tuesdays anyway, just because it's slower. And but there were no backups, no lines. Everything was yesterday and the day before, from what I was reading. I had not kept up with what all was happening and what Trump had sent ICE agents in and all that. But immediately, as soon as I walked in, my God, I mean, the police presence was absolutely ridiculous, and it was APD and it was ICE.
Yeah.
And then I started seeing the canines with the ICE agents and interacted a little bit with them just because of the dogs and stuff. And super nice. But they were no protests or anything today. I think all that happened yesterday.
Yeah, good.
But super nice. It was just really weird. It was on the North Terminal, where everything but Delta is basically. There were probably 24 or so between ICE agents and APD that were just standing around, just looking at the carousels that were empty.
Yeah.
But they were just all. It was like the safest feeling I'd ever had being in the airport right there.
Yeah, no 4-hour waits in line there anymore, for at least for a while now.
There was zero. There was zero wait. So I went to the main security just to see what it was like, and there was nobody. There was nobody in line. Everything was moving. Everything was happening. So I don't know.
I love it.
I don't know what they're. Yeah, I don't know what they were doing to help TSA, because there were a lot of them standing outside of the TSA areas.
Yeah.
But the presence there was just overwhelming. So it was very interesting to see. I hadn't seen that in a while, and so I had to look up on my phone while I was waiting on something and find out why it was even happening. But that was my experience. I felt safe. Everybody was okay. There wasn't any protesters. Everything's moving fine. So today's the day to fly. Obviously, yesterday apparently was a disaster.
Yeah, so. Outstanding. Thanks, Shay. I appreciate it. Hi, dear brother. Thanks. I appreciate it very much. 540. And again, the Democrats are going to have to thank ICE for getting the airports back to normal. And by the way, I mean, what a turnaround. Once again, Donald Trump says, oh, yeah? Okay, I'll put the ICE agents in there. How about that? And it works. I mean, he's batting 1,000. It's 14 minutes after 5 o'clock. We'll do some sport. Talk to Joe Baseball about the Braves, and we got sports stuff, and it's coming up. The 106.3. How you doing?
If Minnesota has shown us anything, it's that the left will side with rioters over America. The real immigration crisis is inside blue cities, whose years of soft on crime, open border policies are now colliding with public safety. Atlanta's conservative news and talk station won't be swayed by headwinds of left-wing media. We'll always give you the facts from the most trusted voices in the country. Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
There's never been a better time to fall in love with Subaru. Now through March 31st, get award-winning vehicles and exceptional offers from a brand you trust during the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Subaru of Gwinnett. Explore the full lineup of hybrid, electric, gas, and wilderness vehicles, including the 2026 Subaru Forester and the all-new 2026 Subaru Outback. Every Subaru is made with love and built to last, with dependability and value coming standard. Whether you're looking to match your adventurous spirit with the 2026 Subaru Outback or land on the reliability of the 2026 Subaru Forester, Subaru of Gwinnett has the perfect fit for your family. You'll love exploring in the 2026 Subaru Crosstrek. And the 2026 Subaru Legacy is what happens when we put the best of Subaru into a sedan. Plus, every Subaru model comes equipped with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. There's a lot to discover and a lot to love at Subaru of Gwinnett. Come in for a test drive on Satellite Boulevard in Duluth or start shopping online at SubaruofGwinnett.com.
Hey Atlanta, it's Drake Baldwin here. When I won Rookie of the Year, I thought of everyone who helped me along the way. My friends, my family, and hot showers. That's why when something goes wrong, I call Superior Plumbing. Still locally owned, Superior has been serving Atlanta for over 40 years as the go-to plumber for leak repairs, toilet replacement, and water heater installation. They don't call them the honest one for no reason. Superior's team is my MVP. Remember, there's no job too small.
Here today with Evan Ward, host of North Georgia's Retirement Game Plan. And Evan, we're told to enjoy retirement, but frugal investors often worry about overspending and running out of money. So when it comes to your clients, how can you help ease some of those worries?
Well, it starts with income planning. And, here's one of the most common mistakes. It's almost every single person when we first meet with them, they have no income plan. Mm-hmm. They have a thought. They have a hope. They have hey, if we make enough money, we'll be able, hopefully, to make this money last. But there's no plan. And so we build comprehensive income plan that we know this is how we're exactly going to pay your bills in retirement. And more so because, look, retiring isn't about, well, I've got enough to survive. It's about enjoying life. You didn't work 30, 40 years of your life to get by in retirement. You did it to enjoy the things that you've always wanted to do. And so we're going to build a second component that covers that quality of life that every month, every year, regardless of what's happening with the market, regardless of what's happening in your life, this money's coming in like clockwork. And you never have to worry about it. You never have to stress about it. You know you're going to be able to keep the lights on and enjoy the kind of lifestyle that you're looking for.
The name of the show is North Georgia's Retirement Game Plan. And Evan, you say it all the time on the show, a play is not a plan. You've got to have that comprehensive game plan when it comes to your retirement.
You've got to. It's the only way to, one, make sure it's going to work, and two, make sure it's going to work efficiently.
If you'd like to schedule that complimentary retirement income review, call Evan Ward and his team with Atlas Retirement. That number is 678-736-7799. Again, it's 678-736-7799. Or you can always reach them at the website. It's atlasretirement.net. That's atlasretirement.net. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor.
Hey, this is John Flading from ATL Turfco. We're a family-owned and operated independent local company here in the Atlanta area. We've been in business for over 15 years. We install several different types of artificial grass. One is landscape, which looks like real grass for your lawn. The next one is pet turf. Pet turf is a little bit shorter than landscape, and it's more durable. And the other one is putting greens. If you can dream it, we can build it. Just go to atlturfco.com to schedule an appointment.
Georgia Tech football season tickets are now on sale. Secure your seat in Bobby Dodd Stadium at Hyundai Field to watch head coach Brent Key and the Yellow Jackets take the field in key matchups versus Colorado, Tennessee, and ACC foes. Has a man wide open over the middle, catches the 15, and cruising in for the touchdown. 52 yards, and they made it look easy. Visit RamblingWreck.com/tickets to get your tickets today. Sting 'em.
It's tax season, and by now, I know you're a bit tired of the numbers, but here's an important one you need to hear. $16 billion. That's how much money in refunds the IRS flagged for possible identity fraud. Not all grim news. LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second for your personal information and alerts you to threats that you could easily miss on your own. If your identity is stolen, LifeLock's U.S.-based restoration specialist is going to fix it. Save up to 40% off your first year with the promo code BECK, 1-800-LifeLock or lifelock.com. Terms to apply.
All right, look out. It was on this day in 1882. German physicist Robert Koch announces discovery of the bacterium that causes tuberculosis, commonly known as consumption. For that, he received the Nobel Prize. And now, holy crap at sports. With all of us, I guess. We're here, Flounder, and you got Pete will be back, and Joe Baseball. Let's start with Joe Baseball. How you doing, man? Welcome aboard, filling in for State. Running the Braves organization, basically. He's kind of taking over the whole Braves operation here at 106.
I'm the new Alex Anthopoulos.
Exactly. So tell us, how's it going? What are you excited about? How's it looking? And, here we go.
The Braves finished up spring training today. They beat the Tampa Bay Rays 3-2. Grant Holmes started on the mound.
Good. This is good.
5 innings. Only allowed 2 runs. He had a ERA of sub-1 throughout spring training. Yeah. So he's looking good, being our 3rd starter going into the season, which was not planned, but we're here. The Braves also signed Osvaldo Bido, claimed him off waivers from the Yankees.
I don't know who that is.
He's bad. He's not good. He started 28 games in the last 3 years and has a 5 ERA. So that could be our 5th starter, unfortunately.
Well, at least, it depends.
It's somebody that can throw, that has an arm.
Yeah.
So
well, here we. But again, Strider's out, and
we're in hell.
We're just do what we can, and they've been winning.
Hell.
Yeah, they've won.
They've been winning.
Yeah,
Mike Yastrzemski, new signing, had another home run today,
and of course he's the famous Yastrzemski family from Boston Red Sox, right? Isn't he?
Carl Yastrzemski's grandson.
Yeah, and as soon as I saw this, oh my God, how cool would that be? I used to have one of his signed autograph things, and my brother stole it. But anyway, Yastrzemski's among other things.
But they won. They had the best record out of all the teams in Florida in the Grapefruit League. You don't get a trophy. You don't get any prizes, which kind of stinks. But last year's winner was the Toronto Blue Jays of the Florida League, who went to the World Series. So if anything, that's a good sign.
Well, especially a good sign because when you have a couple of, major players like Strider, guys profile not being available, it's just, but here. And by the way, I really haven't gotten a chance to watch much about the Braves. How's Riley? How's our, star infield folks doing? Everybody?
Oh, Riley's been kicking butt. Yeah. He seems like he has a ribby every day. On Sunday, he had 4 runs batted in, 2 doubles, and a home run. He's been raking. Yeah. Same with Matt Olson. He's been getting a home run just about every other day. Yeah. Ronald Acuna's been a little slow, but I don't think he really cares all that much about spring training. Yeah. He was more focused on the World Baseball Classic.
I'm not worried about Acuna getting ready to go ahead to spark up on Friday. And by the way, last time I saw Riley, he looked in really good shape. He looked trim and athletic and really
he lost a bit of the gut and he grew a mullet.
Yeah.
So he's in a new zone.
Yeah. Oh, well, mercy. Anyway, any other sports things you want to chat with us about here as we kind of open up just fun talk? How about the
I've got a good article
stuff?
for you.
Yeah, this has got another good headline.
Oh, cool.
Quadruple amputee cornhole player. Dayton Weber. Accused of killing a man in Maryland.
Yeah, and then driving away with his body in the car. Do I understand this correct? Again, how could you be a quadruple amputee and play cornhole? I mean, how do you throw it? With your teeth?
With the stubs.
Oh, my God. And he's like a champion?
He's a champion.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Apparently.
And he was riding with his buddies in a car.
Mm-hmm. There was 4 of them. 2 in the back seat, 2 in the front. This allegedly.
He was driving?
He was driving. And shot the guy allegedly next to him in the up in the front.
And killed him. And then he pulled over and he wanted his buddies to help him remove the body. And they said, "We want no part of this." And they bolted.
And so
they said, "Got the hell out of there." So he just kept driving with the body in the car.
How many felonies is that?
Oh, Lord. I mean, shooting a guy and killing him in your car is probably,
bad enough.
Have, null pros, the rest of them. Holy smoke. What a
I just feel, and there are videos of him shooting guns online.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
It wasn't a
not very
fast process.
No. Yeah.
It was a slow process, and I'm sure driving the car made that process slower. So how did he have the time to, in the argument, go, well, just let me load this gun and keep my foot on the pedal?
And he must have had hand controls, I'm guessing. He probably had hand controls. For people with quiet.
I don't know, because he didn't have hands either.
He must have some stump. Oh, God. I mean, when I saw that headline, I thought, oh, that can't be real. Oh, well.
I feel bad because, a guy died, but...
Well, yeah. No, it's still a weird story, And cornholing itself is... Again, ladies and gentlemen, if you are from other parts of the country where you don't understand that cornholing actually is a recreational activity in public... I mean, every time I drive through, downtown Alpharetta, they got cornhole signs. People are throwing the beanbag. I mean, it's just, it's everywhere. And, as it should be, all over the place, kids and stuff. Anyway, a couple of other stories here that are bizarre. Kind of a good news story. Oh, first, I'll do a rather unfortunate story. Tell me, I don't follow girls basketball. I used to occasionally because they have a different style game. But now all of a sudden it's all bullies and racism and jealousy and anger and nastiness. And it's not. I love women athletes, but not when they're trying to be bullied man-like. It's just not right. But the Syracuse University coach. Felicia Leggett-Jack, hyphenated, rips the NCAA selection committee for her and Syracuse having to face behemoth UConn once again in the NCAA tournament. She called it a personal attack against college hoops coach at Syracuse. She said their second-round loss to the Huskies in Connecticut should make the NCAA take a look at it. She said, to continuously have to come to UConn, and every single school that I go to from Buffalo on, it's unfair to the young people. I don't know what it is. Somebody said, is there something they may have against me? If that's the case, we need to communicate that. She said teams having to face the Huskies both times they've reached the NCAA in 4 years at the helm of the program. UConn knocked out Syracuse in their last 5 of the 7 trips, and she said as her time as head coach, and unlike the men, the top 4 seeds games on their campuses in the first 2 rounds before moving on to neutral sites. So she says maybe they're just trying to save money, and so they make Syracuse play UConn because it saves money having to travel around the country, and they're going to get creamed every time. And she says it's not fair and maybe personal.
Did she say that before or after they lost?
It was after they lost. She made this comment, but she also did say, she said... She said, she did. Before I go, want to say thank you, UConn, for growing women's basketball to newfound heights every year. You just make it great. Our hope is that we can grow our program so we can be competitive enough. When they bring us back here next year, we'll be prepared. Again, she took a shot.
It just sounds like a skill issue.
She sounds like, well, then get better players.
Like, well, our team sucks. We're not going to beat it. Well, you're going to face somebody you're going to lose to anyway.
Yeah.
So what's the point of complaining about it?
Well, and the other thing is, you have your team and they have their teams, and you're playing the team. And if they're better than you are, they're going to win. So, get better players, or, there's only so much you can do. Now, if you don't want to play, then don't play. If you want to be taken out of it, then say we don't want to compete. But then you sound like, what was it, Notre Dame that said we're not playing in the playoffs last fall, was it? I'm trying to remember now. And
for their bowl game.
Yeah. Yeah,
and it's like if your team's that good, you're gonna have to face UConn eventually.
Yeah. You're not going to win every game, especially when you're not likely to win every game anyway. Syracuse women's basketball is not going to be the champion, probably, just by definition.
Skill issue. Crimea River.
Yeah. And this is kind of a good news story here, though. By the way, a guy named Carter Baumler was on the mound pitching in the middle of an outing, and the manager for the Texas Rangers, Skip Shoemaker, was coming out to the mound in the middle of an outing. Carter Baumler, the pitcher, came to the exhibition game of the Rangers against the Royals to relieve a guy named Gore in the 5th inning. He didn't allow a run, struck out one batter. Then Shoemaker, the manager, made his appearance on the mound even after Baumler didn't meet the 3-batter requirement before he would be allowed to be removed from the game with new rule. Shoemaker gathered the infield around him and told the pitcher, "You just made our major league roster." Somebody said, "I wish I got a picture of you when you turned around and saw him." The guy said, "Most of the time you see a manager come out, it's like, oh, crap, you're out of the game. I turned around, I saw him, I was caught off guard, didn't know what to do, and he told me that I made the team. I'm definitely not going to forget that. What a really cool moment." He thought he was being taken out, and the manager said, "No, you just made the squad." That's pretty cool. That's the way to do it, too. I think that's the way. Get the team around you and say, "You're in, kid." Of course, he's no kid anymore, but still, what a tribute. 5:30, Kimmer Pete will be back, Flounder and Joe Baseball helping us out here, and so much more coming up. 106.3, how you doing?
If you listen to Extra, share it with a friend. It's how we grow and how we can reach everyone in the Atlanta community that believes in the American way of life. If you value the station, help us grow by telling someone about the Extra 106.3 app.
Well, we got summer vacation time coming up before too long, and, Atlanta Safe House is ready when you are, taking care of your stuff if you're going to be gone for a while and haven't thought about it, especially if you're going on a long vacation or, especially folks who maybe have a convention coming up and you need to store things and so forth. Atlanta Safe House, a new location moved down to Union Hill Road in Alpharetta, and they have the market saying 500 safes right now ready to go, all shapes and sizes. And we talk a lot about, of course, gun safes. My Browning from, decades ago was the first gun safe I ever bought. Fort Knox safes more than anybody else in this part of the country, for that matter. And they protect your rights as well as they protect your stuff. Nobody's getting your master reset code. And a week or so ago, I lost my wallet. At least for a while, and luckily a neighbor found it for me. But if I hadn't found it, guess what? I have copies of stuff, like you should as well. I don't mean to lecture you, to keep in your safe in case you need to get a hold of numbers and figures and stuff like that, as well as banking documents and financial records and your living will and medical records like the VA and Hunter Biden screwing me out. It's a long story. Anyway, they got specials and deals and sales, and it's unbelievable. Ready to go right now. All shapes and sizes. Check them out. AtlantaSafeHouse.com.
Thousands of veterans across Georgia are missing out on the benefits they've earned through their service. The Warrior Alliance is changing that by connecting veterans and their families to life-changing resources and support. Tune into the Warrior Alliance Network, our podcast and radio show dedicated to helping veterans succeed after service. Join us every Saturday at 11 a.m. on 106.3 to hear inspiring veteran stories, discover free programs, and learn about career opportunities available to you. Subscribe to the Warrior Alliance YouTube channel today.
Oh no, what is that sound?
It's our rejection detection system. It's showing that several men across Georgia are being denied intimacy by their partners due to ED.
How can this be?
Well, it's more common than you think. As men age, their bodies change. And unfortunately, once they get over 50, some things don't work like they used to.
So what do we do?
There's only one thing to do. We need to get them to Dr. Eric Deal at Total Body Therapy of Georgia. He can fix ED problems.
But how?
At Total Body Therapy of Georgia, they are experts in the P-shot, testosterone replacement, regenerative therapy, and Trimex to create an erection and more.
Hi, this is Dr. Eric Deal from Total Body Therapy of Georgia. Did you know that 50% of men over 50 struggle with some form of ED? Guys, it won't get better on its own. When it's not hard, it's really hard. But I can help you today. Call us at Total Body Therapy of Georgia at 404-777-1911 or learn more about us online at tbtofga.com.
It's the hardest working part of your home, your garage door. When it fails, you need someone you can trust. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage, Entry Doors, and Windows. When the largest and most important opening of your home breaks, don't hire a schmo. Call the local name you know, All Four Seasons. Ask your neighbors. We offer upfront pricing, free estimates on all major brands, and 24/7 service. When trust matters, trust us. All the number 4 Seasons Garages.com.
Did you know you can add renewing your driver's license or ID card to your grocery list? The Georgia Department of Driver Services now offers self-service kiosks at select Kroger and Publix locations. From renewing or replacing to updating your address, the kiosks will issue a temporary paper license, and you'll receive a permanent card in the mail. Skip the line and save time by adding your driver's license renewal to your grocery list today. You'll even get a $5 discount on your order. Visit dds.georgia.gov to learn more. Sponsored by the Georgia Department of Driver Services.
Hey, it's Front Office Los with Tom, the honest car guy. Let's talk about the new way to buy a car in 2026. Tell me how you can save clients thousands of dollars in this process.
I got a customer here, Jeff Everhart. I met him today first time because I delivered his 25 model Honda Pilot, fully loaded with only 16,000 miles on it. Jeff, answer Los's question about that one.
It was actually shocking. I mean, you hear the advertisements, you want to believe it, and then when you go through with the sale, and there's no extras, there's no dock fees, there's no storage fees, no transportation fees. The price I was given was the price that I paid plus their honest fee. I did save thousands of dollars, and it was a very quick sale.
Well, we appreciate that.
And did it from my living room.
Did it from your living room.
Friends, if you're in the market for a pre-owned car, truck, or SUV, get an honest car buy from the Honest Car Guy. You pay what we pay, plus an honest fee, and we back that up by giving you the bill of sale. That's our transparency guarantee. Call 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME, the number 1, or visit honestcarguy.com.
Ah, what a great song. That's right, a little Motown. Temptations, 1965.
When it's cold outside.
The Temptations released It's Growing, the follow-up to My Girl. The track, the first to feature David Ruffin as the Temptations' new lead singer in 1965. Interestingly, both My Girl and It's Growing were the only Motown tunes ever covered by Otis Redding. Okay, that's so interesting. Temptations. 60s rock and roll, man. That was the... Anyway, how old am I? Doesn't matter anymore.
You're coming up on 80, aren't you?
Yeah. No, it's 47 next fall. I think I was going to be 48, 46. Our birthday list, a couple of sports birthdays. Peyton Manning is 50. Retired superstar, holds 1 million quarterback records, and retired on top when the team won the Super Bowl. Peyton Manning, 50 years old. Now he's on TV with his brother doing, I guess they're still doing, they did last year anyway, their commentary on Monday Night Football. Or maybe it was Sunday night. Monday Night Football, I think, wasn't it?
Monday night.
Was it Monday night?
Manning cast,
yeah. And I watched a couple of those where they had guests on and would chat. And it's entertaining. It's definitely,
it's good for a little bit if they got a good person on to interview.
Yeah. Now the other thing is I don't watch football by the game anymore. I watch Red Zone. So I just, if I'm watching TV for sports, I don't spend 3 hours watching a football game.
That's the best. There's nothing better than that.
Red Zone is just the way to go, and it's not just scoring, but it's great plays and getting inside the red zone and stuff like that. So, but anyway, it's worth whatever it is. And let's see. Also, a birthday list for Mark Calloway. Mark Calloway is 61, retired WWE superstar, better known as The Undertaker. 61 years old today, The Undertaker. And Allison Hannigan, a little ginger chick from American Pie movies and that date movie, whatever it was called. Allison Hannigan is 52 years old today, so congratulations to her. And on this day in 1832, a mob of Ohio residents pay a visit to Mormon founder Joseph Smith and his assistant Sidney Rigdon. What happened was they grabbed him and tarred and feathered him. And for the record, Joseph Smith, the founder of the Mormons, his young son, his baby son, died 5 days later from what the doctor said was pneumonia he got from covering this event where they seized him and tarred and feathered him. He lived, and here's what he said. They seized me by the throat, held on till my last breath. I came to, they passed along me 30 rods from the house. I saw my elder Rigdon stretched on the ground, thought he was dead, dragged him by his heels. I pleaded with them, please, you'll have mercy and spare my life. They ran back, fetched the bucket of tar. When one exclaimed with an oath, let us tar up his mouth, I twisted my head around so they could not. They tried to force a vial into my mouth and broke it in my teeth. All the clothes were torn off me except my shirt collar. One man fell on me and scratched my body with nails like a mad cat. They left me. I attempted to rise. I fell again, pulled the tar away from my lips so I could breathe. I began to recover, raised myself up, saw two lights, made my way to them. It was somebody's door. I was naked, looked like I was covered with blood. My wife fainted. My friends spent the night scraping and removing the tar and washing and cleansing my body. Being the Sabbath, I assembled for a meeting at the usual hour of worship. They tarred and feathered him, and the next morning he gave his church service and gave sacrifices and baptized 3 guys. Now, for the record, the assault happened by religious opposition to the Book of Mormon and the growth of the Church of Christ Latter-day Saints, it became. Joseph Smith's companion, Sidney Rigdon, was also targeted the same night and suffered injuries. However, the tarring and feathering is also possibly linked to the fact that Joseph Smith was having sex with a young girl named Nancy Johnson, and she could have been as young as 14. The mob first wanted to castrate Joseph Smith. Why would they do that? It's used as a penalty for sexual crimes only and acknowledged by scholars she doesn't say whether they tried to castrate him, but they were thinking about it. And then they said, well, no, we'll just tar and feather him instead. It had maybe nothing to do with his religious beliefs. So, and either way, they tarred and feathered him and are going to chop off his forcachucas. She's very unhappy. What was that? You got something going on? Oh my God! It's just. Oh my God! It's holy crap! We got a game. It's a Pete Davis game here with the Flounder and the Kimmer. Pete will be back and Joe Baseball. It's game time. Flounder, what do you got there, sir? Here
All right. Well, since there's so much activity going on in the airport these days, I got a little trivia on that and a few questions for you too.
All right, sir. Airport. Joe.
All right. So go with Joe first.
All right.
Pretzels or peanuts on your flight?
Pretzels.
Pretzels?
They don't carry peanuts anymore, but I'd rather have peanuts. I would always go peanuts.
All right. Aisle seat, window, or middle?
Window. Always.
Aisle.
Never.
I'm aisle.
Well,
easy,
I don't.
Easy access.
Well, yeah, that's true. On the other hand, I feel like I can kind of scrunch up and just kind of shoulder the window and kind of be by myself and whatever. Anyway, so I was, and I can hold it. I try to make sure that I don't have to go to the bathroom. I have to
See, that's
tinkle.
my problem. I'm going to have to use the bathroom at least. I mean, if it's an hour and a half, 2 hour flight, that's at least probably 2 P's for me.
Really?
Because when we get to the airport, I'll have a drink, I'll have water or coffee or something like that.
The last thing I do before they call boarding is I hit the men's room. Literally the last thing I do.
All right, here we go with a couple trivia questions, all right?
Here we go.
In what country did the first commercial flight take place?
What country? I think America.
What state?
Probably Pennsylvania.
North Carolina?
Florida.
No kidding.
St. Petersburg to Tampa, Florida in 1914, covering 18 miles.
Wow. To say what, was it a private airline or just some guy renting his plane out?
Just some guy renting his plane.
I'll be damned.
What else we got here? What country boasts the busiest airport in the world?
Well, that's still America, isn't it? And that's still Hartsfield or Chicago?
Hartsfield Jackson, that's right.
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia would be the one for globally.
Yeah.
Theirs is pretty big.
Yeah.
Foot traffic wise.
So, well, that's understandable. All right, well, there you go. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, 404-741-1230 if you'd like to. Well, and Pete will be back to the Flounder and Joe Baseball. 404-741-1230, 741-1230. Oh, Shay told us about the crowds at the airport. They're basically gone. Apparently, things are almost, I guess, back to normal. At least we'll see. When I get home tonight, I'll turn on and see what the latest is on the airports because I know they'll be covering it on Fox anyway. And by the way, speaking of things that you were surprised at, the other day, my car registration's due. They tag. And so they sent me the form in the mail, which, by the way, I really appreciate that. You get a thing in the mail. It says, sign here, and you pay $20 and send it back, and we'll send you your tag, which is great.
So you do everything by mail?
Well, yeah, but unfortunately, yeah.
Well, no, I didn't mean like that, because you can also electronically do it to where...
I think you can go to like Publix or Kroger or something, I think, in some place. Anyway, but they sent it in the mail, so I said, the problem was I did not get an emissions test. I thought the thing did not say for my car is 6 years old, and I thought it was exempt, and I was wrong. So anyway, so I sent, and I said it was $20, and I sent, it's extra $1 if you mail it, so it was $21, and I sent $5 in for the sheriff's office. A donation for the sheriffs. So I sent him a check for $26. A week or so later, I got it back, the whole thing, and the note saying, you need an emissions check. I thought, oh, God, what if it fails? 30, honestly, I'm not making this up. It used, I don't know whether anybody even fails anymore, but it used to be when they first started doing this back. In fact, I remember I had like a 1971 Cutlass, and it was about 1972 or 3 when they changed all the emission standards. And I remember back, this is like 50 years ago, I do remember when my car flunked an emissions test, and one of the reasons was the gas cap.
Yeah,
was nuts.
I've had
that happen.
Yeah,
so I'm thinking, oh God, now it's running. I'm just going to be late. So I went to the emission guy down by my local gas station right near me, and I passed, which was fine. So then I went in person. I said, I'm going to take a chance. Instead of mailing it again in case it got late, because this was just the other day, and I didn't want it to be past the end of the month. And so I went in person to the tag office, which they also have one near me too. And I walk in, and of course, everything's security, and there's a woman behind a cage, bulletproof glass, and she's real happy and smiling, and I say, hi, am I here to get my tag? She says, okay. And she says, push that button over. Go to the wall, and I went to the wall, and there's a series of buttons. And she said, push the one for tag renewal.
Yeah, I've done one before. Yeah.
And the door opens, and you go to the left, and here's your number. It's number 604, whatever. And I walk in the door. I take about 4 steps. I look up, and 604 is ringing already for the net. I walk to the desk, sit down. Hadn't been 8 seconds, and I walked in and sat down, and the girl printed out the paperwork and was confused because she said, well, that's the wrong amount because you send extra money. I said, well, I know, but let's pretend I mailed it, okay? I said, don't make me go mail it, okay? Anyway, and so she did that, and I got my tag in like 3 minutes. And I remember the day. You ever been to the tag office? I mean,
it's a nightmare.
It can be.
Yeah, because when I lived in town and I had to go to like downtown on Fulton Street,
that's always got to be
just awful.
But anyway, I was thrilled with it, and it was very, very exciting. Also, well, anyway, we got more coming up. Another Flounders funny and updating the news, and it's all here on 106.3 on a beautiful Tuesday afternoon. Hope you're having a good time. Look out.
Extra 106.3 is getting ready for the 2026 midterms. And on the ballot, it's freedom versus communism. The choice is clear, and your vote matters more than ever. The future of our community and our country hangs in the balance, and the conservative voice of Atlanta will continue to fight the good fight right up to the election. Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
Baseball is back this weekend, and so are your Atlanta Braves. The opening homestand of the 2026 season starts as the Kansas City Royals roll into town on Friday. The weekend is packed with exciting giveaways, like the magnetic schedule powered by Georgia Power, rally towels presented by Racetrack, t-shirts, and a Ronald Acuna Jr. cap for the kiddos. You don't want to miss the atmosphere of opening weekend at Truist Park. Grab your tickets now at Braves.com/promos. Atlanta Braves Baseball. We are Braves country. Join Daniel Madelon, CEO of A Second Chance Bail Bonds, and co-host Tug Cowart as they bring together law enforcement, justice insiders, and voices from every part of the justice system, victims, advocates, and people who've turned their lives around. It's not PR, it's not fluff. It's an honest talk about what's working, what's broken, and how to build a better path forward, one second chance at a time. This week's guest is former Lieutenant Governor and candidate for Governor, Jeff Duncan. Justice Unfiltered. Unfiltered, informed, and unbiased.
So you had a long day. You decided to stop for a cocktail on the way home. The next thing you know, you had one too many and you just got pulled over. You need A Second Chance Bail Bonds. A Second Chance can get you or a loved one out of jail quickly, in most cases in a matter of hours. A Second Chance Bail Bonds. It's better to know us and not need us than need us and not know us. Get help now. Call 404-BAIL-OUT. That's 404-BAIL-OUT or contact them online at atlbail.com.
When I first started using a CPAP, getting supplies and equipment was a horrible hassle. It pretty much stayed that way until I discovered CPAPs, etc.com. Same-day shipping on anything you might need, including travel CPAPs, hoses, masks, you name it. Same-day shipping. CPAPsETC.com or visit their store in Alpharetta. So easy, and you could be preserving your health and saving your life.
Retirement should feel exciting, not stressful. But if you're close to retirement or already there, have you ever stopped to ask, do I really understand the risks to my plan? Hi, I'm David Nicholas, president of Nicholas Wealth Management. Things like market swings, higher taxes, inflation, healthcare costs, even living longer than expected can slowly chip away at your savings if you're not prepared. And even solid plans can have blind spots. That's why we offer a retirement risk analysis. It looks at how your investments, income, and taxes could hold up in real-life situations, not just on paper. It helps answer the big questions. What happens if the market drops? And will your money last as long as you do? If you're within 10 years of retirement or already retired, give us a call, 678-990-8500, or visit nicholaswealth.com to schedule a complimentary retirement risk analysis. Nicholas Wealth Management, helping you retire with clarity, confidence, and control.
Nicholas Wealth Management is an independent financial services firm. This is for informational purposes only and is not specific investment advice.
Attention Atlanta, it's the biggest truckload safe sale of the year at Safe Market and Liberty Safes of Atlanta. And it's happening for 3 days only. We're slashing prices by up to 40% on top quality American-made safes. Home safes, gun safes, commercial safes. With 3 showrooms, there's never been a better time to buy. But hurry, when the truck's empty, the deals are gone. Shop online or come into one of our 3 stores for even bigger savings. March 26th through March 28th only. Call 770-242-0055 or visit thesafemarket.com.
Hey there, it's Tara, owner and publisher of Our Town Monthly, where you'll find familiar faces, local voices, and community businesses like Grace Point School.
Thanks, Tara. I'm Liz Powell, head of school at Grace Point. We are a Christian school in Marietta that serves dyslexic learners in grades 1 through 8. Grace Point School is accredited by the Academy of Orton Gillingham practitioners and educators, as well as the Southern Association of Independent Schools. We are a full immersion program and remediate dyslexia.
As a partner and a parent, I can tell you firsthand, Grace Point is a game changer.
As you know, Tara, early intervention makes a difference. Our teachers celebrate the gifts and strengths of our students. We are currently accepting applications for the 26-27 2007 school year. Come learn more about our small class sizes, individual attention, excellent teachers, and one-of-a-kind community.
If your child is a dyslexic learner, reach out to Grace Point today. And remember, our town is your town at Our Town Monthly.
Hello.
Hey, is this Mike Fitzgerald?
No, I think you have the wrong number. Wish I could help you.
Well, you could if you were Mike Fitzgerald.
Who is Mike Fitzgerald?
Mike Fitzgerald is the only realtor I'll talk to because he can sell my house fast for a great price and even in this market.
Yeah, I'm definitely not Mike Fitzgerald.
Oh, I figured that out because Mike Fitzgerald would have sold my house already.
Selling your home? You need Mike Fitzgerald from the Harry Norman Realtors team. Visit brokermike.com or call 678-780-HOME.
I can be your man. Here we go. 1962, Mick Jagger and Keith Richards performed their first paid gig in 1962 at the Little Boy Blue and the Blue Boys. That was their club, their name. They were at the Ealing Club in Ealing, England, as Little Boy Blue and the Blue Boys. The next month, in 1962, Jagger and Richards saw Brian Jones performing at the same club with a guy and a band called Elmo Lewis showing off slide guitar skills with the song Dust My Broom. And Brian Jones's stage presence and ability impressed both Keith Richards and Mick Jagger. And the rest became history for a while there. And it's in 1962 for the Stones. Kim and Pete will be back. Flounders here in Joe Baseball with a great appreciation filling in. A couple of birthdays. Kelly LeBrock, the virtual dream girl Lisa in Weird Science, the woman in red. And she was also in the movie Hard to Kill with her then husband, now ex, Steven Seagal. Kelly LeBrock, 66 today. Star Jones, a TV personality, is 64. And let's see, I had one more. Peter Jacobson, not the golfer. Peter Jacobson, the actor from House. A guy in House, is 61 years old today, for the record. And on this day in history, 1985, the incredible Bo Derek was the big winner at the Razzies for bad acting and delicious nudity in her husband John Derek's skin flick Bolero. And I remember Bo Derek when she was in 10 with that little short guy who played the drunk. I can't remember his name now. Little British short guy. Who's a little British short guy played the drunk anyway? And in 10 she was
Arthur.
Yeah, played. What's the name of the actor? Played
Dudley Moore.
Dudley Moore, in the movie 10. But in she won the Razzie for the movie Bolero, and also in '85, the Worst Actor award went to Sylvester Stallone for trying to be a country singer in Dolly Parton's movie Rhinestone. Just for the record, there. Anyway, let's see. 404-741-1230. If you want to join us, running out of time, I'll be happy to be with you. Oh, I saw this on Fox News this afternoon. They had one of their Fox News girls going along with some investigators for the transportation department at a Florida truck stop, inspection stop. At this one Florida inspection station, we've all been driving past them, trucks pull over. At this one truck inspection station, the state police said half of the drivers did not speak English. Half the drivers didn't speak English, and that means most of them didn't know the signs. They couldn't read the do not enter sign, didn't know what it meant.
Stop.
Yield. I mean,
turn around,
the information signs. They couldn't. And in fact, I saw the guy's face was blurred out for legal reasons, I guess. But the cops were talking. He didn't know any of the sign, didn't know what it meant. How the hell did he get a license? the people, they ought to be able to find out who signed the certificate that allowed them to get their driver's professional license.
Most of these are coming out of California, aren't they?
I think they're coming out of a lot of places because I think people are afraid to say no.
Sean
I think
Duffy
you're afraid to be
called.
You're afraid to be called a racist if you don't give a guy from Somalia his freaking driver's license. I don't know, but I mean, how could you, in good conscience, allow people to be driving 50,000-ton rigs on our interstates 80 miles an hour and all the accidents we've seen happen because of it? And we don't even know all the other things. Anyway, half of them could not speak English. I couldn't believe it. Brutal. Let's see. The meatloaf. I made meatloaf the other day.
It was delicious.
It was, and I'm kind of varying the recipe a little,
tweaking it a little bit.
Yeah.
I kind of noticed the mustard in
I had
there.
a
It wasn't bad.
little golden, not much. Little Golden's mustard in with the ketchup. A lot more 3-to-1 ketchup to a little mustard just for a spice. And I put a little Washer Sister sauce in there this time. Just a couple of splashes, not much.
Put a couple more slashes. You can't go wrong with Worcestershire sauce.
Lee and Perrins and stuff like that. And the steak sauce and Heinz 57 and a lot of spices and anyway stuff. So I'm glad you liked it. Good. I'll make another one here. Actually, I may not make one until I come back. But anyway, let's see. Oh, let's do this.
So no meatloaf and no cookies for a whole week.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to. I got fat. All right, hold on. One more Flounders funny. Here we go. What you got there, Joe?
DoorDash is what's going to kill me. I mean, I don't know who I think I am. I look at it at night like it's Tinder. Just scrolling through, seeing who's open. Just, hey, Hardee's. The audacity I have when I order it. I'm just laying there. I'm like, bring me a Blizzard now. I want it right now. Lay it quietly on my porch. Don't let anybody in this house know I'm doing this. Cost $3,000 for this Blizzard. All right, I'll pay it. I ordered it one night, so I like McDonald's, and so I got a number one with no onions. And McDonald's, they do have a McFlurry, but they only let you do one size. I don't care for that. So I was going to get a Blizzard, and I double dashed it. So if you don't know, you can double dash it. And double dashing is when you just keep peppering the guy. You're like, what else is open around you? Maybe go see if they got nerds in that gas station. So I ordered it, but for some reason I thought it was going to be the same guy, but they put it in two different drivers, so they separated. Now I'm like watching the GPS, and I'm like, they're going to come at the same time. It's like in my worst nightmare. So I need one of them to get in a wreck. It happens. I see them both. They both make the turn at the same time. I'm mortified. The McDonald's comes in, drops it off. Dairy Queen has to let him back out. He was just in the cul-de-sac like I was having construction done in my house at 11 o'clock at night. He just, no, go ahead.
Nick Bergazzi. Joe, thanks again, man. I really appreciate you helping us out today. And Flounder, Pete will be back. And again, it's only me. Christine, sing me home, baby. I gotta go. You're killing me. Well, yeah, Herb. Stand by.
The Kimmer Show is live on your ride home on WFOM and W292 EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. Extra 1.